things that I've got. I'm digging in moss bags up in the sand, and after work a cold beer in my hand, picking wild berries off God's land. I'm drinking my buddy's homemade wine, living Northwest wild. Hunting, fishing is my kind of style. I float the Wainuchi when it gets hot. I'm proud I own the things that I've got. I'm digging in moss bags up in the sand, and after work a cold beer in my hand, picking wild berries off God's land, and drinking my buddy's homemade wine in the Northwest wild.
Hey, good evening and welcome to Fish on Northwest. Duane Inglin, Bill, and Bill. The Bills are here. The Bills are taking over the studio. The Bills have dressed. You guys actually coordinated your outfit. Men don't wear outfits, but in this case,
we wear outfits.
We wear outfits.
We wear outfits. Let's be clear.
You boys are wearing outfits. So yes, Bill Herzog, Bill Monroe Jr. I threatened last week, and I always come through with my threats. So you boys have arrived. Who drove? Who drove?
I was going to say, who
That's
drove
like
the
that's
furthest?
groovy driving.
Groovy
driving.
Yeah.
I think you drove the furthest. Yeah.
From Yakima,
Yakima, right?
Yeah, I did Portland.
You're down Portland.
I think
Palm Springs of Washington.
Yeah.
By the way.
Absolutely. Watch the beverages.
The water is coming out there.
Table. Welcome in studio, Fish on Northwest, live here, 6 o'clock Thursday night. So we must be live in studio as we do each and every week. And so glad to have these two guys joining me tonight. Tommy Donlin still on assignment, back I believe maybe 2 weeks from now. Next week I got a couple guys rolling in with Hatchery Wild. Make sure you tune in next week as well. Going to be some really good content next
That's going to be great.
Do I dare say, yeah, Dave Shamp is joining us in studio once again, and I do believe Cameron Black is going to grace us with his presence, representing Hatchery Wild.
Perfect,
very nice.
There. So
very
great
nice.
show lined up next week, but before we get there, we got a heck of a show lined up tonight. We're talking spring Chinook, Columbia River, Willamette River. We're talking Eastside fisheries and opportunities. We're talking Brewster Pool for Chinook, 70,000 fish coming back there.
77,000.
Oh, pardon me, 77,000, right?
Say it, don't spray it.
Got that going on. We have actually towards the end of the show, we're going to do a little comparison in that Brewster Chinook summertime fishery versus kind of that Willamette Springer fishery, kind of the differences in techniques and presentations and stuff. So hold on your hats for that one. That's going to be good content. We're going to do a little bait lab presentation with Bill Monroe Jr. on rigging for spring Chinook in the mid-Columbia. Lots of fish talk tonight. We're going to actually kick it off here. We got a number of fisheries we're going to go over. WDFW did a fantastic email bomb yesterday of about 7 or 8 different emails that came out consecutively within about a 43-minute period. That was basically closure, discontinued, do not respond, and so on and so forth. I'm going to kind of cover those. But before we delve deep into the show here, I want to remind everybody that Fish Hunt Northwest is presented by Better Homes and Gardens Pacific Commons Real Estate located in Puyallup, Washington. Check out Joe Maxwell and team there at Better Homes and Gardens Pacific Commons. They'll take care of you. Also, our good friends out there at Defiance Marine. Yes, the boat is still out there. Yes, I am awaiting as much as everything else. You know, things are on back order. Difficult to get things at a reasonable amount of time.
Name of the game right now.
Waiting for a couple more components with our Raymarine Electronics, actually screens that need to get mounted. And then we got to get out of the water, get those things tested, get the systems all dialed in, then I get to bring that bad boy home. So it could be.
I would wish you would hurry up. Because I have a list of places you need to take me.
Right, yeah, I know. It's.
I mean, you have a fishery coming up you're going to miss. I didn't know if you knew that.
No.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, that boat is.
Sorry about that.
Home. Talking about the 21-foot Mustang hardtop, manufactured by Defiance in the Allied shop. Defiance, manufacturers of the Allied, the Defiance series, and of course the Arima, and their repair shop for your boat maintenance and needs. Second to none, top notch.
Great
techs out there getting it done for you. Check out what Defiance Marine has going on. And if you need a new boat, by all means, call them up because very competitive prices.
My friend Dan Shake, Dan, you've met him, right? He just had his boat serviced at out there at Defiance, and they did an exemplary job.
Unbelievable.
Wonderful job for him.
Just top notch.
Yeah.
They will actually call you when they find stuff. Say, hey, you should probably think about getting this fixed now, so it doesn't leave you.
They do it right the first time.
Yeah, and they're going to call you before they just arbitrarily throw more money to it. So great guys to work with, whether you're looking for a used boat, new boat, the service center, and all the componentry within the sales room. Top notch. www.phoenixprotectivecorp.com. Phoenix Protective Corp, one of the top-notch security firms within the Northwest and beyond. If you are previously military, I'm also trying to read and keep up on stuff here. So, previous military or police looking for a line of work that is in the realm of security, check out Phoenix Protective Corp. They are top-notch in what they do and have a fantastic company to work for. 401k benefits, the whole deal. Really good company. So glad to have them on. Saying hi to Brandon and Clayton and a handful of other guys. Charlie Johnson checking in. All you guys saying hi. Glad to have you guys here. Bill J. Sinian says, the General. Yep, he's in the house. Jim Babcock's checking in. So, yep, all the regulars tuning in tonight. Grab our content, grab our feed, push it out there. Let's blow this thing up. These gentlemen drove a long ways to share intel this evening, and we're going to make sure everybody hears it. So,
I drove here for the food.
Yeah, how was that?
That was pretty good.
Dude, that stew was amazing.
Elk stew.
That was awesome.
Which I'm glad you didn't consume so much of the smoked kokanee and smoked triploid.
Yeah.
Oh,
we had a 3-course.
Yeah,
we did.
Yeah.
Oh, I was doing a thing where I took a slice of salami. I was putting some smoked fish in there with some
salami
dip
burrito
in there and rolling it up.
It was salami fish tacos.
Right.
It was amazing.
We had the Coho salmon dip. We had the smoked triploid. We had the smoked kokanee. We had the cheese platter.
That's a hat trick.
That's a hat trick.
Yeah,
we had the cheese platter, the meat platter, the fruit platter, and we had the elk stew.
Man.
And I ate way more than I'm supposed to tonight. But hey, sometimes you just gotta take one for the team, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
This is rough.
It's really delicious.
Yep.
We were
talking about the food, and Shing's cooking often, and there's a reason why. So. All right, jumping into it, things going on around the Pacific Northwest and beyond. Before we get too far along, I want to remind everybody that Saturday evening, this Saturday, out of the lovely town of Enumclaw.
The Scratch.
Yes, the Scratch, as is known. Me and Shing and a few others meeting up with Jason Humble and Washington State Fishing Group. Our good buddy Dakota Portman is going to be there providing amazing music and entertainment. We have an evening slated for a little kickback, relax, whiskey, fish talk, and music with Dakota Portman. And Jason and I are going to talk about a handful of things going on relative to some of our fisheries. We're going to sip a little whiskey in the meantime. We're going to just kind of throw it out there and make it just a relaxed venue.
3 of my favorite things. Whiskey, fish, and music.
That's pretty rough. Yeah, that's
pretty good reason to tune in. We're going to multi-stream Fish on Northwest. We'll be on both our platforms with YouTube and Facebook. Washington State Fishing will be putting it out there live as well. Cool. And Dakota's going to provide some amazing music. He's just gotten back from Nashville cutting his next album. So he's looking forward to a great time. It's his birthday today, so make sure you wish him a happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yep. And we got tons of giveaways. I got a Lamb-Glass rod set back here we're going to get rid of. We have a tons of our new Fish on Northwest swag, hats, shirts. Jinglin Jigs is throwing some shirts in. And we got a ton of gear. Washington State Fishing, Jason has compiled a bunch of stuff. We got some Gibbs, flashers. He's got all kinds of stuff going on. Going to be a really good evening. Laid back fun. Let you guys interact with us via Messenger. Dakota's going to take requests, play some great music, and just have a really good time.
That is really cool.
Today, man. So yeah, Saturday evening 6:30. Saturday evening 6:30. Tune in for that. So that is up and coming. Also remind you, and you know what? It's been a good week. I had about 4 people, Bill, contact me. Hey, going over to Fish Rufus, or hey, I'm going over to Fish Roosevelt. Where do I stay? Well, there's only one place to stay in my mind when you get over there. Skydeck Motel. Contact Nikki and staff there at the Skydeck. Tell them you heard about it here on Fish Hunt Northwest. You're going to receive several dollars off of your night stay. Stay multiple nights, save even more money. And as we get towards the busy season into summer, when they get booked up considerably, you're going to pay winter rates for summertime fun. So,
that's pretty cool.
Yep, Skydeck. Great place to stay. Write it down, Skydeck Motel. Call Nicky. Tell me you heard it here, Fish Hunt Northwest.
Ooh, I stayed there. And you can park your boat there, too.
You can park your boat there.
You can, yes.
You can park your boat.
That's
and yeah, you've stayed there. We've stayed there. We stay there every time we go. All right. So yesterday, the email bomb, as it were, from WDFW, which I get it. They got to get the information out there. And if you are on their email list, you're going to get these emails coming in, so you're always in the know of what's happening. Well, there was about 8 of them yesterday. The one that caught everybody's attention was the complete closure now of steelhead fishing as we know it, even with the restrictive rules.
Not just from a boat. This is an altogether
right?
closure.
There's only a few rivers remaining that will remain open through the end of March.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. I did not hear this.
So
wow, I've been gone for a few days.
You've
Please
been
elaborate.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah. So
what's going on, man?
Yeah, where'd I put my note sheet? So we got closures coming now for basically the better part of hump tulips, Wainuchi, Chehalis Basin, and some of the coastal rivers. March 8th.
What?
Is the closure day. March 8th. Yep. So closing roughly 3 weeks early.
What coastal rivers? Which ones?
You would have to ask me.
The list is long.
Help me.
Maybe I have it here. Oh, you know what? I do have it here. So, amid low returns, fishery managers with Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife, WDFW, today announced a closure to sports fishing Queets, Quinault, hump tulips, Chehalis River systems, as well as tributaries in Willapa Bay. You get all that?
That's extensive.
Yep. So we're closing on the 8th. Announcement came out yesterday evening. Closure is on the 8th. Man. So Monday, March 8th takes effect. Again, that'll be the Queets, the Quinault, the hump tulips, Chehalis Basin, tributaries, and Willapa Bay tributaries.
The Queets and the Quinault.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I don't want to start crying right here on a camera.
Low skating numbers. Haven't got hatchery take. Haven't got enough wild fish hitting the ground. So the other part of that email, it did mention in there that late summer, so I think somewhere around September, they're going to have a public meeting via Zoom where persons can weigh in, which to me sounds like a lot of people are going to be screaming at their computer, right, and letting WDFW know what they feel. But look, I looked at that bill and said, we got into this season with unbelievable restrictions and cutbacks.
Sure.
Which were late in announcement. It was a reactionary move by WDFW.
Sure.
This meeting they're talking about this September, they should have had last September.
Correct.
Going into this season, so guides and other persons that were planning fishing could at least plan at that point versus reactionary when we're 2 weeks into December.
Sure.
Okay. That's water under the bridge. They're moving forward with this plan. They're shutting those rivers down early. You have a few rivers remaining open through the end of the month. And then they're going to monitor the conditions. They're going to do red counts. They're going to try to extrapolate exactly what the success in spawners were, what the hatchery counts were, and they're going to come together in September, lay all those numbers out there to say, here's where we're at. Now, one thing moving forward, and I kind of put it in a post the other night, these rules that they implemented, and I want to get your guys' take on this, but these rules that they implemented late in the game for this current season as we know it, I do not see those going away anytime soon. Matter of fact, I believe those will be in place for a number of years to come until we actually get to the point where we're meeting very close to or just slightly exceeding escapement needs in the Chehalis Basin and the North Coast.
I was just going to say the whole coast.
Wow. Okay, here's what scares me. I kind of went at it like, okay, the glass is still half full. We're fishing. Okay?
Yep.
But now the problem is when you take away those Grays Harbor rivers, the Wainuchi, you take away the hump tulips. Those are extremely popular streams. How about the Satsa? Satsa gone?
Yeah, it's tributary.
Okay.
Right? Yep.
Where do those fishermen go?
Yeah,
they're so worried about those fish being hammered on in the North Coast, the Hoe, the bogus shield, salduck, etc. Where are those fishermen going to go? They're going to go up there and put additional pressure on those few rivers that are left open.
Yep.
This is...
Or they're going to go to Oregon. And that there is
and they have
can't handle it, and they have
been.
The Oregon coastal streams and the Portland metro areas are just
Which are already hammered.
They're
right?
already hammered, but they're loaded even more so.
Oh,
it's the escapement goals of what's going on with these fisheries are in peril because of
mob mentality.
Everything, exactly.
Geographical.
And we've seen this everywhere. This mob mentality is prevailing everywhere.
In second segment.
Right.
We're going to talk about.
That's a big
We're going to bring back an old segment Bill and I used to do on radio together called "What It Is and What It Was."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What it is, what it was, and we're gonna dial it down in on blackmouth fishing as we know it. But it's also relevant right here, right now. What we're talking about, you can put that label on a lot of our fisheries. What it is and what it was, and this mob mentality, as I referred to it, Bill, because geographically we're pigeonholed into this little footprint,
this area,
this little footprint, right?
Yep.
And you have how many thousands of people? You do the math now. The numbers came out during COVID that fishing license sales were through the roof.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Yep.
No disagreement there.
Nope.
We are approaching 8 million people in the state of Washington. Okay? 11% of those are card-carrying members of the fishing brigade, right?
Correct.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let's put it at 10%. Let's put 10% of 7.5 million people. I mean, that's 700,000 people with fishing license. And on the biggest push of people, and Bill, we used to cover this years, season after season, opening day trout season, where you get 250 to 300,000 people come out and go fishing, right?
Yeah,
sure.
The point is, not everybody trout fishes, and there's a ton of people that have licenses, that have boats, that want to fish Puget Sound, want to fish Columbia River. Drift boats are sitting high and dry. And we'll get into it with the blackmouth discussion, but the CQ opener, which we won't jump into right now, but we're going to talk about the numbers of boats out there on March 1st. Was a mind blow.
Yep.
But it is exactly it's a condition of the symptom of what they've created based on these little tiny groupings, openings, closings, restrictions, narrow windows, fishing to quotas.
Oh my goodness, boy.
You can have a quota of 4,000 fish, but if there's 8,000 people coming to that quota versus 300.
And it's a pressure thing.
You know how the WWW counts them. They count boats and they count 1 or 2 fish per boat.
Yep.
Correct.
How fast, Bill?
That's going to add up.
Do these
crazy.
disappear? How fast do these go? How do these get sucked up?
So the quota
It happens on bigger quotas too, on bigger bodies of water. It's the same.
my goodness.
It's the same
Quota-based
extrapolation.
accumulation is detrimental to having any type of a season, realistic season. And we'll talk about some of those numbers with the blackmouth stuff. So everybody's paying attention to the Steelhead closure, and should be, because it hit a lot of folks in the face. It hit a lot of folks hard. And even with the restrictions, no fishing from a floating device, limited access on some of our opportunity based on conditions.
Yeah.
High water is not conducive to wading and bank fishing.
No,
Right?
and some rivers like the Wainuchi and the Salduck, there's very little, because it's just the way the rivers are made up, and nature makes them.
Yep.
There are very few spots to wade. I'm a bank fisherman. I get this. I
we've all
love,
been there.
I'm a guy who doesn't fish in a boat. But I don't do much fishing in those rivers because, quite frankly, when the water is up, there is nowhere for me to stand.
And let's be clear, there's a certain segment of the fishing population, which are older, that can't make it happen.
No.
Right. So
that's really difficult.
Riley Fee is chiming in here too, along with the Skagit. We got the through mid-April. We still got an opportunity on Skagit 4 days a week. And it is packed. So
what's going to happen now with the Skagit?
So that's going to be loaded,
We had, I believe, and maybe Riley, one of the guys up north that fishes it on a regular basis, I believe we were 300 or 300 fish above escapement.
So how fast is that?
Open that fishery.
So and they count every fish that's being hooked.
And that's why they limited it to 4 days a week.
They count that as a mortality, I would imagine.
Well, sure, yeah.
They associated 10% mortality on the catch and release opportunity is how they factor it. When in fact they have statistical data, and I've gone over it here on the show, that hook and line release 2-year study on the sock Skagit produced a 2.75 mortality rate.
It's way lower than 10%.
But they actually attribute a 10%.
Yeah.
But that's a different discussion. But that being said, it's pressure.
Talk about a symbiotic relationship. Back when I guided the Skagit, we always heard rumors about we're going to close. I've heard this before.
Yeah.
The stuff that's happening right now to our coastal fisheries, to our guys that work out there, to our guys who love to fish out there. This sounds exactly like what happened to the Skagit in the mid-2000s. if the same thing happens, oh my God, I don't even talk about it.
Do you recall the conversations we were having in 2015? The push was because Puget Sound was in dire straits and shutting down.
Sure.
Where we recognized back then, we're going to start pushing all these people out to the coast. And we would talk to the Bobby Kratzers, the Bill Myers, the
Mike Savadlovs,
the ones out there.
Yeah.
All the guys, all our regulars out there that we would tie into on a regular basis. And they all would say, gosh, man, we sure hope our coastal rivers and our fisheries don't turn into another Puget Sound.
And
guess where we are 6 years later?
Look at them now.
Okay? 2 life cycles.
History.
2 life cycles of fish. So, yep, we're there. So that one caught everybody's attention. But what I want to also draw your eyes to, Chinook impacts as well in emails that were very, very matter of fact. All Chinook daily limits reduced on the Kalama before it even gets going.
It's not even open yet. Well, it is open.
It is open.
But they're not there.
Okay?
No.
They're not there. Reduced to 1 fish daily limit, which is something we've become accustomed to. Effective March 5th until further notice. So we're talking spring Chinook, okay? 1 fish, spring Chinook. We're not gonna see a 2 fish there.
I mean, you can expect that to change for the fall fish.
Oh,
but
yeah.
there's a long period of time, and that's weird. To try and have a tributary fisheries in the Kalama and the Lewis is kind of a big deal.
Yeah?
But now we're going to pay for it a little bit.
Well, here's the deal. So you push that to a 1 fish. The very next line that I got here in sequential order on the emails, Cowlitz River closed to salmon retention.
Oh. Correct.
No Cowlitz for springer fishing?
No springer
Cowlitz,
retention on the Cowlitz. No springer retention in Sisyphus or Lake Skanawha. No Chinook retention in any of those bodies of waters attributed to the Cowlitz. What does that do to that little Kalama?
Yep, you're looking at a very busy little river.
So the
I love the Kalama. You know, we fish. You and I have fished it how many times?
Yeah. Kalama is like the Wainuchi during December, January for winter on Steelhead. It'll have 75 boats a day.
Yeah.
75 boats a day with minimal fish, 1 fish limit. And if they're not getting hatchery take by mid-run, they'll close it down to say, we got to close it to make sure
we need escapement. We have to guarantee fish.
Yep.
That's a tough.
Wind River closes for salmon and steelhead angling. Okay? Tuesday, March 16th until further notice.
And that includes the bubble.
Everybody fishes the wind in April and May.
That's what I'm telling you. So they dumped all these emails with all these. So
and that includes the bubble, which is a big deal for all of the upriver people, and that really hurts because the upriver didn't get much fisheries.
Yep. Drano Lake season shortened to support added hatchery production, reduces the adult salmon daily limit from March 16th through May 5th. Okay.
That's a big fishery.
Klickitat.
Yeah. Bill, you know how to golf?
Yeah.
I don't know. I was thinking about taking up like knitting.
Yeah.
There's like
spelunking
these groups that you can belong with. You can like watch videos, be a part of virtual knitting clubs.
Cooking, for example.
Cooking's a big deal. You're always going to be able to have someone eat. Yeah.
Klickitat is also on that list. So I mean, we have.
Tough.
So we're not just talking west side opportunity and frustration here. It's now bleeding over there to the east side. Columbia tributaries are in dire straits. They're just trying to get hatchery take for broodstocking, and we're having a hard time doing it. So it's the timing is interesting because right now we have the kickoff of North of Falcon meetings as of last week. Last Thursday we were doing the show. The first numbers were coming in.
PFMC started.
So the numbers are in, and they've been mulled around for about a week. And if you're a Columbia River fisherman for the fall, summer and fall,
things look good.
Things look pretty good.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
If you're a Puget Sound fisherman relative to Coho, things look pretty good.
Things look okay.
If you're going to spend some time on Puget Sound for Chinook in July, for example, things are looking a little tough. We actually have a downturn, all inclusive. More than 26,000 Chinook less return than 2020.
And last year, I have several friends, very good salmon anglers.
Yep.
I mean, open division guys who fish 11 and 13.
Yep.
Couldn't catch a salmon last year.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, these are guys who know it better than you know the back of your hand and everything. And these guys couldn't catch one.
Yeah.
One of my best friends in the world, he fishes every single day in Area 13 and 11. He got a grand total of 2 Chinook last year. And this year's going to be tougher.
26,000 plus down. So North Puget Sound, we're talking Skagit, the Snohomish, the Stilly. Definitely down in, and it varies. It could be 1,800 fish on the South Fork of the Skagit. 600 fish down here, 500 fish down there. But collectively, every one of those rivers has a downward trend. Okay, Skokomish River, which is a staple here in the South. Right, you look for that big pusher river come to the Skoke, so you get that Hood Canal fisheries and that amount of fish coming through, which those fish traveling through northern and mid into South Puget Sound before they kick out to Hood Canal is a huge contributor to our fisheries. I get it. We've talked about it. People are frustrated because we can't bank fish the Skokomish, but the amount of fish they dump in aids the opportunities in Puget Sound. It bumps the numbers for opportunity. Well, guess what? They're down over 5,000 fish from last year.
That's just the forecast.
That's the forecast, right?
That's right.
The Green River is going to be down accumulation of well over 3,000. Puyallup is one glimmer of hope for some reason. They're actually up almost 5,000 Chinook coming back to the Puyallup.
Something.
Are they sure about that?
Well, that's forecast, right?
That's just that's hearsay.
The one that really continues to downward trend here and has for the last 4 or 5 seasons and is concerning because of the number of Chinook they release. They are between 3 and 4 million smolt release on the Nisqually River between Nisqually, McAllister, and then that Deschutes contribution.
Wow.
They are down significant. Deschutes is down almost 8,000 forecasted from last year. The McAllister Creek program is down 6,500. The Nisqually is down 2,700. All told, it's down significantly for this the very tip of the iceberg, southern portion of Area 13, Bill, that is in my backyard. Would love to go fish. We're going to be down collectively well over 15,000, 16,000 from last year's forecast. Last year's forecast wasn't all that great.
Which wasn't that good, yeah.
The Nisqually River is on schedule to see just under 15,000 Chinook return to the Nisqually River. I'll be very curious of what an opening, if any, actually looks like on the Nisqually, because just as little as, say, 4 years ago, we had upwards of 40,000 fish coming back.
You know what? None of this does anything to help killer whales.
Right.
None of this is good for the long term. The answer is what we all know.
More fish.
More fish. Hatchery fish. We need hatchery. We need hatchery.
This portion
of Fish Hunt Northwest brought to you by Wellbutrin. Are you depressed about the numbers of fish runs in Washington? Take Wellbutrin.
Antidepressant.
Back to you, Duane.
Hey, turn the page. Let's talk Coho. All right.
Okay.
Hey, there's a positive.
Puget Sound Chinook is the Debbie Downer of summertime opportunity in fall fisheries, but our Coho, on the other hand, we got 89,000 Coho coming back to the Nooksack. That's pretty good. We got 75,000 to the Snohomish River. We have all told, Green River miscellaneous areas 10 and 11, and Puyallup River all collected. We got about 140,000 Coho coming back to that central Puget Sound.
Good.
Wow! So even the saltwater fisheries should be fairly good.
Yeah. Grays Harbor, for Willapa Bay, we're looking at 80,000. For Grays Harbor, we're looking at 75 to 80,000.
Cool.
Bill has talked about the Coho numbers to the Columbia at 1.6 million.
Even if we get half of what we're looking at for the ocean season,
that'd be amazing.
It's great. Yeah.
So the other side of that folks need to pick up on is the fact some of our Chinook fisheries, those ocean fisheries like Ilwaco and a handful of other ones out Westport, we're always up against that Coho constraint.
Yep.
It's like we hit that Coho number last year, and Tommy and I talked about it a few weeks ago.
July.
Ilwaco, we left 60-65% of the Chinook
fishing
of the Chinook opportunity on the table. Right, walked away from it because guys are going out and grabbing their first couple Coho and come back in. Well, they're going to have to go through a lot of Coho this year to make it close down to Chinook fishing. Which
I don't see it happening. Right? I don't see it happening.
Yep. So, as far as some positives, we do actually have an abundance of Coho that's going to lend us to maximize our opportunity on Chinook where there is Chinook.
Yep.
The pink forecast for Puget Sound.
Took the words out of my mouth again, just like dinner.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, let's
see it in your eyes.
Right? I'm just going, waiting to jump in.
Wait a minute.
Just slightly under
3 million.
Right?
Yeah.
So we're talking probable bonus fishery, 3 fish limit with that pink in your bag, right? With the abundance of coho.
Yep.
So look at that opportunity. I mean, August, September into early October out there, fishing could be relatively good. The coho derby should go off. We should be out of this COVID crap by then. We should look forward to some coho opportunity and some derbies, hopefully. Waiting to hear where that all lands. But
heck, even inside the Columbia, in river fisheries, even though we have a Thule constraint, we should still see like something from August 1st until at least Labor Day. And then that coho fishery, like I said, even with half
September,
that baby you should just fish all the way to December 31st.
We should see a full month back on in August on the Columbia, right? Not a 2-week window.
Should. Maybe if we have an early season lower river Chinook problem, Thules. We should go.
You're using much stronger words.
We should. That's one of those words that really hurt me to say. By the way, Thules. But like we should, if we navigate it right, we can look at a marked select, which is hatchery only element. If we have a Thule constraint, but we don't need to do a hatchery select, a marked select hatchery element for the entire August buoy 10 fishery. We could probably make it work with a conservation mark and reach the 38% exploitation rate if we look at a hatchery only element for like the first 2 weeks of August to protect wild Thules
and to get us deeper in the season.
Get us even further, because the upper brights look great. Coho looks great. If that's anything that we need to look at, it's probably a hatchery only for the first 2 weeks. And heck, I don't have a problem with that.
URB is 350,000.
Yeah, and then you add everything into that, it's over 400. With
those other components. But
correct. Correct.
Down here at Grays Harbor, pretty happy to hear the fact that last year we finally, in our king component down here, over 16,000, which put us in put us into meeting escapement 3 of 5 years. Out of the penalty box, finally get to target. Oh, wait a second. Doesn't look like there's enough of them, right? So we are looking at, where's my number here? Something like 10,000, 1,100 over on your wild fish, 1,800 hatchery Chinook. So we got 1,100, so about 2,900 Chinook. But I think the hatchery component, they need 300 or so to the hatchery. So you take, 1,500. That's still 2,500 Chinook, 2,400 Chinook. But
a pretty good number.
They're not. I don't believe they're really looking at, because of the exploitation rate on it and how much we would cut into that. We're not looking at any probable Chinook retention in your Grays Harbor region. Yes, hump tulip, sure, but when I'm talking, Chehalis component and tributaries, the Satsop component in that, I'd like to see that Satsop get that hatchery Chinook retention back. Last year with that 16,000 fish coming back, we were getting into so many Chinook. Excuse me, and we released a lot of early October chrome bright hatchery Chinook that we just had to dump back in.
Isn't that hard?
For my whole life.
It's really hard.
What we paid for, I'm talking about Steelhead, Coho, Chinook, whatever. I'm just throwing this out there, right? It should make a rule in Washington. I think 99% of the people out here listening and watching will agree with me. If you catch a hatchery anything, we paid for this. These fish, we do not want them to spawn. They should be harvested. No matter what. It should have like every river system should have. If you catch a hatchery fish, fill in the blank. You get to keep it 24/7, 366 on a leap year.
Let that be on the tag as an element of fish.
Yes.
The Wainucci is a prime example.
How easy would that be?
There are no hatchery Wainucci Chinook, but we will catch them in the lower part of the system.
But you get strays
every year.
Right?
They're Satsop strays.
And we get the same thing in the hoe.
Oh, they're upper Chehalis strays.
The hoe doesn't have hatchery spring, summer Chinook. Yet the ones in the Quileute, because that water is colder, will tuck up in that lower end, and we get these beautiful, amazing Well, we're steelhead fishing, whatever we're doing down there in June.
Yeah.
And we can't keep them. And they're fin clipped and they're gorgeous. We have to let them go. For what reason?
Don't quite know that.
Yeah, we get those dip-ins on that Wainucci lower stretch, hatchery fish. Oh, there you go, back in the river, right? Is that fish going to turn around and go back down? Probably not.
No.
Mother Nature's plan is percentage of strays to ensure that, you know, they continue to survive. It's not a...
Michigan's a great example of that.
You have to go to this river.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Michigan is a prime example of that. That's right.
So... you know, we do have some positives. I mean, Willapa Bay, 80,000 coho. To the Willapa system, right?
For sure.
80,000 coho. And the Chinook return to Willapa is going to be in excess of 30,000, 30 to 34,000.
That's better.
Hatchery production on that is 30,000. Total forecast is 30,000 hatchery Chinook to Willapa on top of 80,000 coho. That should be a pretty dynamic fishery if you can get around the grass, right?
If you can deal with the weeds.
You deal with the weeds. So... we do have some glimmers of hope. Bill, we're going to delve into Columbia River stuff in a little while, but look, some of our North Puget Sound stuff will be problematic because of the low Chinook numbers. That Snohomish system that they're protecting really inhibits our opportunity to go after these Chinook in certain areas up there. So be prepared for that. I don't believe, and we're going to get into the Blackmouth discussion here when we come back from break, but I don't believe we're going to see any improvement in our Blackmouth opportunities. Secondary to the impacts of the sublegals seems to be an ongoing issue in certain parts of our region. It's just, it's frustrating.
It's frustrating. I'm worried that precedent is being set.
Well, our steelhead...
and this is what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Well, we have precedent.
If this is here now, which it is, I think the mentality going forward is this is how it should be. I disagree with that.
It's going to take a number of years to pull back from what it currently is sitting at and open it back up. Right? Fishing from a boat for steelhead in the Grays Harbor region and North Coast, we are, do I dare say we're 5 years from seeing any resolve in that? Potentially, based on the numbers that they've already posted that James has put out there previously, even before the season, knowing the direction and the trend that is happening, and where they see it's going.
You want to be scared?
Hatchery production.
I had an angler on the river tell me this, and he chilled me to the core when he said this. He goes, "You think the WDFW is laying down some draconian regulations right now for steelheading?
Yeah.
Wait until they get the spawning counts and the feds get a hold of it."
Oh, that's...
If the feds find out,
that's our scare.
They don't care about guides. They don't care about tackle sales. They care about nothing. They're just going to go bang.
Numbers.
Curtain's going to fall, and guess what? We're bass fishing.
Clayton, I'm not sure about the Sky Comish Chinook
For sure.
in June.
Really, seriously.
Should be a steelhead fishery. Of course, you know where that summer steelhead fishery is being negotiated right now as we speak to continue that program and not have it ESA listed or to settle the lawsuit that WFC has put against WDFW. So, Sky Comish, summer Chinook fishery, the June opportunity for Chinook.
Those beautiful fish bite so well.
Yep, love fishing that fishery. Let's hope we do get that one, though the numbers are down. I mean, the numbers are down all over except for that Puyallup for that fall Chinook for our Puget Sound River, so I guess we'll wait and see. All right, we went a little long on that because we always do. It's Fish on Northwest.
Hey, that's what we do.
Long, right?
You know.
We're passionate.
We're going to jump out for a quick break. Bill, we come back. I just say Bill because it's they. Either one of you.
Which you answer, I answer.
Yeah, either
We should both answer.
Thing one and thing two.
Ladies. We are going to delve into Blackmouth. We just had a Blackmouth opener CQ March 1st.
Oh, man.
This is another prime example of if you build it, they will come, right?
Hey.
And they sure did. They built it for the first. They opened her up, and we had a boat show out there. Boat show was canceled. It was March 1st this year, and it was in CQ. In case you didn't get the memo.
On the water, it was really good.
Boats afloat in CQ, right? For the Blackmouth opener, and a few folks were into fish, and it's doing pretty good. But we're going to kind of do a little comparison here on kind of what it was and what it is.
I can even do a piece on CQ on that one.
Absolutely. Okay, we're talking Blackmouth with Bill and Bill. We come back after this break right here at Fish on Northwest.
Science Marine is the one-stop shop for the Pacific Northwest angler. Whether you are looking for a small skiff to fish the Sound or rivers or a huge offshore tuna machine, Defiance Marine has it. At Defiance Marine, be sure to power your boat with a Honda outboard package. Take advantage of the reliability and 5-year top-to-prop warranty on your Honda outboards. Our service department is always here to help and serve you as the customer. Did you know Defiance Marine has boat financing experts to help get you the best term rates on your new boat purchase? If you need financing for that new boat, call us today. We guarantee the best price, best service on a repower for your current boat. Defiance Marine is a Honda Premier dealership and one of the largest on the West Coast. Defiance Marine also carries all the gear that you will need. Everything from auxiliary kicker motors to fishing tackle and bait. Defiance Marine has certified technicians that are top-notch at their job. Some of the best in the Pacific Northwest at evaluating your boat issues and problems. Stop in today or give us a call for all your needs at Defiance Marine.
Today, the need for quality private security services is at an all-time high. Contract Security Service provides day-to-day peace of mind as they protect people and property. Here at Phoenix, we provide service for multiple state and federal contracts with services ranging from uniform, patrol, alarm monitoring, canine detection, executive protection, as well as investigative work. Phoenix client management models are built on understanding our clients' security needs and responding with a tailored program that is best fit for them. Phoenix provides excellent customer service through well-trained, highly motivated security professionals. Recruiting highly qualified officers is the first step in building a strong team. Currently, we are comprised of 70% prior law enforcement and military veterans. If you are prior military or law enforcement, go to www.phoenixprotectivecorps.com and apply today.
Hey, welcome back to Fish on Northwest. Duane Inglin and great company this evening. Bill Herzog, Bill Monroe Jr. A couple of the farthest driving gentlemen who have graced the presence of the studio thus far. So
love it.
Yep. Yeah. Getting lots of compliments on your attire this evening. The fact
the sweatshirts are pretty amazing
and coordinated. Or Mama Shin got a hold of you and
stone cold fierce, my man.
That's right. Looking good. Okay, so as we alluded to prior to the break, we had a Blackmouth open our CQ Area 5 March 1st. And backing up, we for those who were able to get on the water and enjoy the amazing season, as it were, we had a 17-day opportunity, Area 10 for Blackmouth this year, Washington State 2021. That was our Blackmouth season.
Wow.
Okay. Blackmouth season, Bill, as you know, we got some historical pictures that are all grainy and just look so fantastic in the areas you used to fish. Let's talk a little bit about Blackmouth fishing back in the day, November to April, in multiple areas throughout Puget Sound.
Because some areas would be good early and some late. CQ being one of the late ones, the South Sound being one of the early ones, and it was spectacular. We had world-class Blackmouth fishing in Area 11 and 13. You know, not that long ago. If you're a tree, you know, it wasn't that long ago, right?
Good point.
Yeah, it was pretty special.
I think if Josh puts up a few of the photos, you got some photos where you guys would literally go out there in rowboats.
Right. This is downtown Tacoma. Now, I want you guys we used to wave at the guys driving by on Schuster Parkway going to work, wave at them, and the guys would honk their horns. We'd have fish on.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, there was that's the ship that sits off the granary. If you were driving, if you're driving downtown Tacoma, you can see that right in there. Well, what that is in there, they dredged that out back in the 70s. So it goes literally 30 feet offshore. It's 100 feet deep. So you used to catch Blackmouth off the shore. They're casting herring back in the
30 feet deep. I don't see any downriggers. I see a 12-foot little. We
used to launch our little aluminum boats there, row out the length of this room, and start casting. And there was Blackmouth in there. It would be shaker, 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 10-pounder. Shaker, 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 8-pounder. Using light tackle, 8-pound test, #1 hooks, firecracker herring, half an ounce of lead on our light steelhead tackle. It was so amazing. And these
they just sit there and spin through the water.
These are the best eating, hardest fighting fish. I mean, look at them, beautiful chrome fish. You can see in that. That's my friend Mark. Wow. That's about a 12, 13-pound Blackmouth, and you can see the train tracks and Schuster Parkway in the background.
And the oar.
Yeah, we just row out there that far from shore. He's standing below him is probably 180 feet deep of water.
Oh, really?
Right off the shore, and he was kind of a big back eddy in there where they had the boats. And herring used to pile in there, and they used to on the surface like it was raining.
Wow.
And there'd be so many blackmouth. It started about mid-November. December was the peak. I got my largest blackmouth ever in there with my friend, a 22-pounder, December 18th.
22-pound blackmouth.
Yes.
Just tossing spoons.
Just tossing herring and
herring and a mooching rig.
I had one of my guys from work. I used to work in Seattle. A guy said, you have to try this. I brought him down there, and we're in like 100-some feet of water. He's on the other side of the boat, and he casts, and he goes, and starts cursing, reels back in.
This is dumb.
It's like, and I'm releasing small fish and putting new herring on, and he throws out again. He's swearing. I'm going, what's wrong with you? He goes, there's a sandbar right out here. I go, where are you throwing it? 200 feet deep. He goes, oh, look, my line's just sitting there limp. And I go, reel! He reels it in. 9-pound blackmouth. So my line might's not sinking anymore. I keep throwing it out right there, and it hits a sandbar.
Nope.
And he got a 9-10 pounder. He goes, this is amazing. We're in downtown Tacoma. I go, I know. And this went on from the late 70s up until the early 90s. We had this fishery, and suddenly it just disappeared. In about 93, 94, it just went away. There was no more blackmouth down there. But for that long bit of a time... Now,
did the blackmouth move out?
We don't know, Bill.
Or did they...
They just weren't there anymore. But I used to drive further to get bait. I lived right up the top of the hill from there. I used to drive to Point Defiance to get bait. I drove further to get bait than I went to go fishing.
That's crazy.
It was really a special fish.
That is
the numbers of fish that used to plant back in the day for blackmouth, 70s, 80s, 90s, and even in mid-2000s. I'm trying to get some of those numbers from WDFW because I want to do a comparison. They did within a day's turnaround. Thank you, Jake. They got me current numbers of what they're contributing to the blackmouth program. I was curious as to what they're truly putting in to support the opportunity. Based on the lack of opportunity we get time on the water because of sublegal encounters, because of constraining Chinook runs in some of our northern Puget Sound rivers, i.e. Snohomish system and whatnot, it compromises our ability or opportunity to be on the water. Within NOF, it's not just now discussions of fall opportunity.
Man.
Last year we really saw them pull the wool over when they started impacting our blackmouth opportunity. Narrowed our seasons, closed all areas except Area 10, and then they gave us that opener, which was a quota-based fishery, which they ramped up on the quota relatively quick. The pressure was pretty significant. Why? You open one area,
everybody's going to come to that area.
Mob mentality, right?
Right.
Geographical footprint, that is, you can only fish here. Everybody's like, well, we may only have a couple weeks because we only have 600 wild encounters.
Yeah.
Right?
The fishermen are blameless. Where are they going to go?
Absolutely. So, how much fish are they putting in to support the program? Well, the numbers given to me as of this morning, basically, you have the Icy Creek, which is Seuss Creek, on the Green River Complex, 300,000. Hood Sport is 120,000, and the Wallace system up on the Skycomish is 500,000 fish. Okay. Now, blackmouth historically is a Chinook that is bred, reared, and released, and they residualize in Puget Sound, and they just stay.
They don't leave.
Right?
That's correct.
They are all, I wanted to know where the genome is from, what strain of fish they're derived from, right? Basically, like most Chinook in Puget Sound Basin, are Green River stock. These are Green River stock. If they do, by chance, decide to go up a river and try to do something, they're
at home.
Stock. They're at home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, the lack of opportunity nowadays in getting fish, one, when I think about the greater Puget Sound region, and we're looking at 120,000 out of that Hood Sport area, collectively you're looking at 800,000 then for the greater part of Puget Sound with a couple areas where they're dumping fish. Puget Sound is a big area.
Sure.
Those fish will move. They'll follow bait.
Right.
They're not just going to stay within the general area they're released into, but they are going to migrate some, albeit they're not going to typically leave Puget Sound. They'll be in Puget Sound.
And that's good.
But to your point, Area 11, those would be Green River fish. Those fish will migrate south and, get down there and mill around that Area 11 back in the day where you were fishing them. But I just don't see them releasing the numbers that would support that type of gradual spread out. You know?
The priority should be to these. Here's why. I was told this a while ago, I can't remember who it was, but they said nothing is more important. It's wonderful to travel and have great fishing, like go all the way to CQ, go all the way to Brewster and catch fish, but how about an urban fishery? Where more people, way more people can participate in this. The money that comes in, they said nothing's more important than an urban fishery, a quality urban fishery that Joe everybody can fish.
Sure.
When we had the great blackmouth fishing in the Sound, in Tacoma, right up of Seattle, in Elliott Bay, the Tengu Derby back then.
Right in town.
Right?
Yeah.
This was everything.
Yeah.
It was right in town. And that brought so much money in and so much participation.
Big deal.
It's more important than all these travel fisheries. To have a quality fishery close to an urban area is the most important thing, and something they should prioritize.
I specifically relate to that, to the Oregon stuff, where you can catch a spring Chinook in downtown Portland.
Very cool.
You can enjoy a fall Chinook fishery all the way from Astoria to the Canadian border. This is the type of stuff which is the opportunities which should be provided to the angling public. And heck, this is why there needs to be a commercial element on the Columbia River, maybe not gill nets, but you need to have access to those fish. And that is what draws these metro areas, the metro area people to go fishing.
Look what happens when the pinks show up.
Up here, it's out of control. It's great.
The last season, the last good season, we had Lake Washington sockeye. They kept extending the weekend.
You know when that was? How long ago that
95?
was? No. That was 2006.
Oh, yeah, that one. Yes.
15 years ago. Think about that for a second.
And now it's so dismal you can't even.
What was getting the extension after extension?
The opportunity on the sockeye, because there's so many of them.
That's because the sockeye were...
It's like, okay, you can fish this weekend. Oh, you can go this. And by then, it's like hardly anybody was going out there, yet the fish just kept coming. And
they were still going,
if they only knew that was going to be their last time of doing it, I think people...
they would have gone.
I think so, too.
But, to your credit, Bill, the blackmouth fishery, if you would boost those numbers tremendously. First of all, most of these Chinook opportunities that we continue to argue about and fight for are up against ESA restrictions and NOAA intervening and telling us, no, you can't because of impacts to wild fish. What's our impact to wild fish on residualized resident blackmouth Chinook?
Which are there anyways,
Right? So there's an opportunity. It would be much like we really need to drill down and try to talk to somebody at WDFW as to the why. Why can't we have a Rufus Woods type amount of fish generated, brought over here to the west side in about 3 larger lakes?
American Lake,
for example.
What an amazing! Think about if we made American Lake.
If you have no concerns about them any way, shape, or form getting in with anadromous travel migration,
it doesn't matter if they get out; they're sterile.
They're going to raise them in net pens until they finally put the kibosh on that, right? So I look at American Lake and go, man, could you imagine 10-pound triploid?
Yes, I could.
For all the guys that are saying, let's make American Lake a destination kokanee fishery and stop planting rainbow. Well, I raise you one and say, okay, but let's plant 10-pound triploids or 5-pound
and we have trophy kokanee and 10-pound triploids.
I was going to say
buying
both.
A house.
Both are possible.
You're moving
I'm coming back.
The reason for that is if you really want to do some work towards conservation, and this CQ opening for blackmouth is a prime example.
Of what you saw,
and waiting. Boom, here's the opening. Now everybody goes. And if it's quota-based fishery, they're going to hammer on it, and we're going to get the plug pulled, and then everybody's sitting on the sidelines again. If we have diversity and opportunity, if I don't have to hitch up my boat and go to the east side and continue to piss off the east side folks, because here on this show we advocate everybody hook up your boat and go to the east side and take advantage of these fisheries. I know.
Thanks for that.
And eventually that's going to have an impact.
It already has.
Okay.
There's more crowds in Brewster than ever.
So
it's just exploded over the last even 5 years.
You need to take some of those proven successful rearing opportunities and decide which lakes on this west side you're going to give that opportunity to.
Why couldn't, I don't understand why that's not being done.
I don't know. They will say they are planting triploids, but they're like 2 and 3 pounders, and there's
not enough.
500 in this lake, 300 in this lake. I'm talking
not enough for
10,000 triploids in American Lake,
which it can support.
Very nice.
You said yourself.
1,100 acres.
Yeah.
But this lake out here is 100 feet deep, 500 acres.
Oh, Summit Lake can handle it.
Right.
You know?
So
we talk about hot spotting, right? What's happening now. The CQ fishery, that you know well that I've done that for many, many years. There are times you go up there, I'd be the only boat out there, and kind of scary that I'm the only boat out there fishing. I go, what if I break down? There's no one else out here.
Yeah.
And it always did wonderful. It just top-notch blackmouth fishing out there.
Yeah.
You put a herring down 120 feet on the downrigger, put a boat in gear, you're done. You got one and you're out.
Yeah.
A couple years ago, my friend Dan and I were out there. We saw 6 boats out there one day on a Sunday. And we're going like, do you believe this? Look at all these people. There's 6 boats out here. This is out of control. Right? How many were there Monday?
50?
Yeah.
Wow, really?
Because these poor people have no other opportunity, so they're willing to travel so much further than ever before. Back when I used to go up there, and this was just the last few years, when everything else was open, who would drive up there? They would, I'm not drilling all the way up there. I can catch them close to home in an urban fishery. I don't have to travel. That place is going to be an absolute
zoo this entire summer. Nia Bay access will not be open. Everybody's going to have to go through CQ to get out to the ocean to fish. Chinook, Coho, the whhole thing. Halibut openings, they'll all
wow, that's right.
Yeah. Cruise on out of CQ.
Why isn't Nia Bay closed?
Tribal access and COVID.
It's like what they did to the Colville Reservation over my way.
Yeah, same exact thing.
All of my amazing trout fisheries I have over there, and my accesses were shut down last year, and I was curled up in a ball in a fetal position crying for 6 months last summer that I couldn't go do my great fisheries.
Right.
You know, to me that doesn't make sense, because the CDC guidelines actually recommend you to be outside, and that's what we're doing.
The tribes are pretty, you know,
tribes got it down.
They don't fool around, man.
Like Nia Bay, they were like, hey, we're a small community. We don't want tons of outside persons coming into our small community. We don't have a COVID serious problem. We've had, you know, and that's why they clamped it down last year. And okay, we get it. So, But moving on, I mean, Blackmouth fishery as it is today, you know, that's what we dealt with this year so far. We have an ongoing fishery out in CQ right now, which was a mass transit of folks in a small geographical location. And we had that 17-day opener in Area 10, and that's it. When historically, back in your day, we used to have from November to April.
Duane, we had blackmouth fisheries year-round. Blackmouth fishing never closed.
Well, like
it never closed.
I know.
We fished all the time.
Sure.
All up and down the sound, anywhere we wanted. You want to go blackmouth fishing? Go.
Yep.
There was no season.
All right.
Of course, I'm dating myself now.
Well, you're not that old, don't worry.
Thank you.
You have to date yourself. Nobody else will date you.
But I'm bummed.
Okay, we're gonna.
Thank you. I'll be here all week.
We are. Be sure to tip your bartenders and waitresses. We are going to jump out for a quick break. Bill Monroe Jr. is on the hot seat. We got some Lower Columbia spring Chinook opportunities. All doom and gloom when you start talking tributaries, but the main stem Columbia,
we got a glimmer.
For that Kalama area. Stretches of that river we haven't fished for 3 years. Right?
Yeah, that's a glimmer of hope, you know. I mean,
glimmer of hope. We need
something.
We got the Cowlitz bubble. We got the Cowlitz bubble we'll talk about. But below that, I mean, we got some opportunity. We're going to talk that stretch of river, water temps, tidal influence,
how to rig,
techniques,
all sorts of stuff.
Where to look for fish.
Willamette.
Where that Willamette dumps in. Key in on that or not. Are we talking anchor and wobbler fishery? Are we talking on the troll? Are we talking bait? We're going to cover it all, and we're going to actually have about a 15-minute segment.
Perfect.
We're well into an hour into the show already because the conversation has been good. All right, jump out for a quick break. We come back. Bill Monroe Jr., Columbia River Spring Chinook Fishery. That's just around the corner. We come back right here, Fish on Northwest.
Coho, an outdoor emporium, is the largest local outfitter in the Northwest since 1975, providing thousands of people affordable outdoor gear. This summer, make your next outdoor adventure more affordable by shopping at our warehouse-style pricing. We are a local Scotty dealer, offering sales, service, and repair. Located in Fife and Seattle, come visit us today. The outdoors await you.
It's easier than ever to browse homes and connect with an agent on the go with Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate's mobile app. With the app, your home search is synced across all of your devices, so you can pick up your home search anytime, anywhere. Take full advantage of an enriched, mobile-optimized map search experience. Use location services to quickly find homes near you that match your search criteria. Draw your own map boundaries to find homes in a specific area, and apply layers to view school districts, neighborhoods, zip codes, and more. The app's user-friendly design makes it easier than ever to find a home you'll love. Narrow down your search results, save your search criteria, and save your favorite homes. You can browse your saved homes in a list view that puts photos and key details like price and square footage right at your fingertips. Or check out your saved homes displayed on the map.
Yep, for sure. Oh yeah, big fish. Yeah, buddy. Nice fish. Oh, beauty. Gorgeous fish.
Bobby's on the board.
We got a good one.
Oh yeah. Oh, oh, geez, come on.
Nice fish. Nice fish.
Hey, welcome back, Fish on Northwest. Duane Inglin and Bill, Snow Camel Bill, finding their way back in studio. You guys have a little potty break? What's going on?
Yeah.
Huh?
Well, he's old.
Right.
I told you.
And I'm getting older.
So you had to lead him out there.
Yeah.
Well,
he had to hold me up.
Yeah. He grabbed the bottle. I didn't. I was gonna.
We went through all the numbers. We went through a ton of closures. We went through some glimmers of hope relative to ongoing meetings that will now happen between starting last week and clear into April.
We're going to be north of Falcon is quite the process.
It's a set season, right? But one thing we do know, we already know the numbers coming back tentatively for our spring Chinook forecast. Okay?
Right.
We have some opportunity coming up. The Willamette counts look pretty good. You're going to be spending some time there for sure.
You know, the Willamette is a resource that Oregon prides itself on, but Washingtonians, it's an out-of-state license, but man, come on over and fish it because that's what it's there for. Last year, when your governor decided to shut fishing down like across the board,
yeah,
Oregon had a different mentality, and we wanted to promote that, but we couldn't with the Columbia because we have to maintain concurrency.
Right.
That was difficult. So we went to the Willamette. We made it happen. That fishery, it goes from March until June or July, and it will fish the whole thing. Right. It's just a special little river. Granted, it's downtown Portland, and it has some specialness to it in certain areas.
We're gonna drill down on that whole Willamette deal later on. But so right now, I have opportunity when I get my hands on my boat. For example, I can head south and I can launch at Kalama, get out there on that stretch of the river, and where am I going?
I'll tell you.
What do I want to do?
So St. Helens,
yeah,
you know where that is on the Oregon shore.
Yep.
We have not been allowed to fish below the town of Warrior Rock, St. Helens, for a while.
Yeah.
And we've missed it.
Yeah.
Because in front of the mouth of the Kalama, per se, areas like Marker 62 or just below the mouth of the Lewis, there's a fence line that everybody loves to fish. That stuff is productive waters, and we miss it dearly. There's a Cowlitz bubble fishery, which we'll talk about right now, actually. It goes from the Rainier boat launch, and it extends over to a little cell phone tripod against the Longview shore, and then it goes up to Cottonwood Island and all of Cottonwood Slough, Carroll Slough in the back of the Cottonwood Island. That bubble we're not allowed to fish in, but you still have the areas of Prescott, huge bank access, right? Mm-hmm. And then the whole areas of Kalama for the Washingtonian.
That's where I used to fish just right off of Prescott all the time.
Prescott Beach.
In the early 2000s.
Big. That was when it was amazing fishing back
was
then.
That good, yeah.
Yeah, because we had more hatchery fish.
Oh yeah, more hatchery fish.
Mm-hmm. Production.
You know, that spring Chinook run timing is key for the survivability of Oregon.
It is.
So we need to up our numbers on not just fall Chinook, but spring Chinook as well.
Yeah.
which is supposed to be happening. I guess we'll see. But currently we got a pretty decent return coming back. So if I'm fishing out on that Kalama area, that lower Columbia opportunity that I get this year, let's talk water temperatures, tide influence in that area if it does, right?
So water temperatures, what we are experiencing right now are colder than usual, which was kind of odd because I'll relate a little bit back to January. Pressure. We saw more sturgeon fishermen above Bonneville Dam than we've ever seen, but we saw more fish than we've ever seen. And that was that's your sign.
More people fishing for them, that fish were already there,
showing numbers. Exactly. The creel was pretty good, but that's the same thing we're going to see here, kind of too. Right now, the water temperatures are around 40 to 43. Still really cold. It's going to be really hard to make a spinner work, but we can make herring work in that zone. It's really good. It is a very, very, very tidally influenced fishery. You can sit on the anchor with plugs and wobblers, though, on the outgoing. And on the incoming, you control with herring, and you're going to make it work one way or the other. Coming up, that last 2 weeks of March are pretty special.
Yeah.
And then we've got 4 days into April, and April is very, very, very capable of hurting a quota-based fishery because you can kill 1,000 fish a day in April 4th.
The best fishing I ever seen for spring Chinook was down in the lower Columbia area below the mouth of Kalama in the early 2000s. It was open in the first week of April. Back when that was a big quick fish fishery back then, right? You get 15, 20 bites a day in the boat. Insane fishing. I mean, very amazing.
Do you do both the anchor and the troll fishery, or you just do the troll fishery?
Right now, I'm going to start the season off with strictly troll fisheries. Yep.
And you're spinning bait?
I'm spinning herring. Yep. I will be specific. It's going to be a little tougher year where nobody's really able to find the right bait, which we need green label size herring, which are about 6-inch herring. Right now we're down to about 5-inch, 4.5-inch herring, and then we're going to have to kind of change some things up. We'll go over that here in a little bit.
Yeah, the bait lab, you're going to
bait lab for sure.
How to rig those smaller herring to be effective, because now we're fishing whole herring.
Correct.
Right? So. Trying to maximize that small herring.
That presentation to spin like a bigger cut plug is where you're looking for. You can do it a number of different ways, and we'll show you. But it is possible. And we did this when I was a little kid. I had people showing me how to rig things, all sorts of. We didn't really do a cut plug type deal. It was all whole bait, but they were really small.
Say, there's no headless herring in the ocean.
Right. Hey, figure, right?
Yeah. Right now, it's going to be a little hard to catch these early fish. They're all chocked full of smelt.
Yeah.
And there's probably 7,000 sea lions between St. Helens and Astoria, and it's. I was out the other day, and it was. I marked maybe 2 Chinook on my graph all day, but I counted over 900 sea lions in my area. 900. They were in groups of 20 or 30, and you'd be going down river and you'd see pod after pod after pod.
I want to know. I stopped spring Chinook fishing. We were fishing the mouth of the Lewis there on that piling line you were talking about one time.
Yeah.
We had 10 fish on one day, and every single one of them was taken by a sea lion instantly. I mean, the minute the rod would go off,
they knew,
and you could see them around. And as soon as we come up tight on the fish, they'd have it.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, why am I losing all this expensive tackle? Why am I spending time and gas and money and all this to lose every single fish I hook down here to these pinnipeds?
Yep.
What is the purpose? Why am I here? It put me off to the point I didn't want to spring Chinook and fish anymore.
I know.
I believe it was 2016. Bill, maybe you know. I believe it was 2016 that they actually accounted for 45% of the run was impacted or consumed by sea lions in river.
Correct.
Sea lions, right?
That was in river take.
45%
half of the run
of the spring Chinook run.
Half of the run
was decimated by the sea lions, and it has been a slow process.
We're gaining very slowly, and we've had pinniped cull. We're doing it the right way by trap and euthanization, you can't just go out and start shooting them. It's not going to
That's something
work.
I think they should.
But hey, it wouldn't hurt if you shut the river down to everybody. Just go out. But that's I don't want to be the bad guy, but
I do.
It's bad.
Some people do though. Some people
there is a real. There is a really intense problem with predation.
It's like when they bring a building down. They close off the area, no access. They let everybody know for weeks on end. Hey, this is going down on this day.
Yeah.
Make sure you don't come around here.
On one of the meetings we had, the sea lion predation reports came out that the sea lions were there strictly for the smelt. Well, that's not true.
No.
They eat sturgeon, they eat salmon, they eat steelhead, they gorge themselves on smelt.
You did it again to me.
I know.
That's 3 times today.
He did too. He did.
Well, that was when we worked so long together, right?
So
yeah.
It's a huge issue. And you start throwing in birds that have taken over the Astoria Bridge, and we start looking at these bigger picture problems, and man, we got some work to do, but we're not doing it.
No, I
don't
agree.
know why.
It's been talked about a lot. The studies have been done. They've proven, look, there's not a sea lion in the Columbia River that's not there to eat. Yeah. They're not there to bounce balls in their nose. Well, that's not why they're there.
We've created this problem. We've created this problem.
Oh, 100%.
Well, we've created the fish, and the buffet bell turned on 15, 25 years ago. Right. They've learned throughout this whole time, we're going to eat that. We are creating fish for them to eat. Yep. And the fish that we create are for our subsistence and recreation, right?
Don't you like to eat spring Chinook? So do they.
Yeah, so do they.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk a little bit about where that Willamette dumps in, that lower stretch.
So right there in that Kelly Point zone, that's in the lower stretch of the Willamette. Across from that is what we call Davis Bar. And that's an access point for most Washington folks on the Vancouver shoreline. You've got things like Caterpillar, Frenchman's Bar, Davis Bar, all the way up into the I-5 airport zone, which have 2 boat launches, Caterpillar, and then all the way across from the airport, there's a launch. Then you got the airport on the Oregon side right there, Gleason, 42nd Street. You got a lot of access for the in-town fisher folk, and that's a big deal too, to provide this type of opportunity. Yeah. The cool thing about Davis Bar, which is right across from the river where the Willamette dumps in the Columbia, is that the Willamette fish will pool up, in that once they feel that Willamette water hit their face, they don't want to just go in there instantly. They hang out. Right? Yeah. They stage. They go in they make a circle pattern between the other side of the river, the Columbia water, which is the Columbia flushes around where the Willamette dumps, and they stage up, and that's why everybody likes to hit that little shelf over there, and you just troll downhill passes, and boy, it can really go off on certain fisheries. And when the water warms up, and we start seeing 48-degree water, that's when you start seeing some pretty heavy action. Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of our herring, you fishing just natural shiner? You adding any color to it? You adding any scent?
The thing that's kind of gotten to be a thing, a really popular thing, is dyeing your herring colors. Yep. I don't do it. I like natural presentation, natural smell.
I'll go back to my uncle. There's no headless herring in the ocean. There's no
so
bright
we're going to
green
go back
or
to these fish
herring.
are eating off of instinct. Right. It's their instinct to snap at something if it's up in their space. Right. But there's the mantra and idea of people saying that these fish are very hungry and they like certain colors at certain times with certain atmospheric conditions, clouds, sunlight, morning, and this is when we change up colors of flasher. Right. The water can get really dirty if it's raining, stuff like that. We have to look at all that kind of stuff.
You don't use even dyed herring with high UV presence in the Willamette. Willamette's dirty, right? I mean it.
Sometimes.
There's no.
But
do we use UV, Duane?
Oh, all the time.
There we go.
Oh, I know. But WD-40 is a herring-based oil.
Sure.
So sometimes
I thought it was
that
banana.
gets sprayed occasionally. Yeah, right, a little secret.
Yeah. So
right.
Okay. Well, the opportunity Oh, before we jump off of that, how about the tide influence on that?
Oh, yeah.
You know, that stretch of river is tidal influence.
It is.
And
yes.
You did mention that on the outgo, you know, anchor and wobblers or plugs or something is an option. On the incoming, troll fishery.
Well, the only reason that the outgoing is hard to troll is because downhill trolls on the outgoing really get you cooking.
Yeah.
And if you over troll and over speed during the spring in the cold water,
I would think a limited visibility would be a hindrance too when you go in that fast.
You're cruising. Yeah, exactly. They're not going to see your. They're going to see it for a brief second and take off.
It's going to go whipping by, and they're like, "Well, that looked good."
Well, on to the next thing. You don't give them enough time to turn around on it, which is 9 times out of 10 what they're doing.
Sure.
They're seeing you, and they turn around on it and snatch it.
Gotcha.
That's our whole goal of what we're trolling for. Yeah. So you sit on the anchor, they come to you, and they see this little thing going kind of crazy, or a wobbler doing this, and they're all about it.
When you set up on that anchor fishery, you're setting up on a high point and dropping your gear in that little drop.
Correct.
Those fish will tuck their nose in on that.
Correct. I can use some references in like the caterpillar zone where people anchor. Yeah. That's a really popular anchor spot. It's no secret. There's really no secret spring Chinook fishing anymore anyways.
I agree.
Especially everybody knows what to do pretty much in most parts of these rivers. But the caterpillar area, you sit on these dikes and they're about, 300 yards in distance. They're based off of the current of the river and the ships. They create these dikes, and you'll see it. They raise up to about 25 feet, and then they drop down to about 40, and then they raise up 300 yards down the river, and they drop down. So you kind of want to set up right at the tip of one of these
run the gear
top of the dikes, and you run your gear right off the back side of that, and these fish are going to come up it, and that's what they're going to see is that plug.
Yeah.
And that's the goal.
Gotcha.
It's hard to,
Okay. Awesome. We're going to jump out for a quick break. Bill, Herzog, we come back. We're going to talk about a little east side opportunities. Some of our, as we used to refer to them as fringe fisheries.
Do you
some
have
of the stuff you go off and just kind of meander on and about and post these gorgeous pictures of, beautiful browns and
beautiful
rainbows.
I know.
And just some cutthroat and just, kind of what it is about, it's a lot of bank fishing for you.
It is.
And it's a lot of enjoyment. And it's not crowded. You may not want to even talk about it. So
I'll talk about it.
And it's easy. That's what's cool about it.
It's easy.
To a degree.
To an extent.
Yes. but in general, yes, it is easy and it's relaxing. Let's put it
there. You go.
Yep. All right, get out your notepads or your tablet on your phone, what have you. We are going to delve into the mind of Bill Herzog.
Scary.
Deep dive. Deep dive.
Not really.
We're going to talk about some east side opportunities and things that keeps Bill busy and out of jail. We come back right here, Fish on Northwest.
A Northwest favorite for almost 40 years, Arima boats are manufactured with pride right here in Bremerton, Washington. Arima Boats offers all of our boats with Honda outboard packages so that you can take full advantage of the reliability and 5-year top-to-prop warranty from your Honda outboard. With literally thousands of Arima boats on the water throughout the Pacific Northwest, Arima boats are a proven hull design that offers incredible fuel economy and all of the amenities that a serious angler is looking for. All Arima boats are built without any structural wood materials. That is why we back our boats with a lifetime warranty. All of our Arima boats are designed to maximize deck space while also providing ample seating. Contact us today at Arima Boats for all your boating needs and let us help you get out on the water.
Welcome back in studio, Fish on Northwest, Duane Inglin, Bill, and Bills are here.
Two Bills.
Chet Anderson says, Bill rocks. And I'm like, well, which
Well, there you go.
Hey.
See, yeah.
I can't
He's been here longer than I have.
on this earth.
That's just an old
That
man
too.
joke, man.
That
Come on.
too.
man.
That too.
That too.
We got
Mr. Herzog used to be a West Side contributor
Absolutely.
over here for the longest time, and one day you said, D, we're pulling up stakes, man. We're heading east.
Right.
Like, why would you do that? Well, because they have fish over there.
The list is long and it is magnificent.
Right. So, and some of the, let's talk about some of your favorite fisheries you've stumbled onto over the last, say, 4 years.
Oh, this is going to get good. I want
Some
to
of the ones that you really like hold near and dear now.
You want a map and you want a GPS location.
Maybe you didn't really know about them prior to getting over there, but now putting in time, getting a foot, getting out, checking stuff out, all by yourself, just just going to access where you have access, and you go, oh, lo and behold, look at what's here, right?
Here's the beautiful part about that. It's still going on.
Yeah.
Now, just because you don't know about a place, go take a look. Look at plant stats. Go look at a map. Look at something and say, well, they put fish in here. I don't hear anything about this place. I'm going to go take a look.
Yeah.
You go take a look. Sometimes it's a dead end. And you go, well, but now I know. I know it's here. The fish are too small. The fishing's not a very good looking place, et cetera, et cetera. But 1 time out of 10, you go to these places that you never hear about, and you check them out, and you find these little gems.
Knock it out of the park.
And you're like, whoa, wow. I wouldn't have known this if I hadn't went and took a look.
Because nobody's talking about it.
But this is ongoing for me every year, Duane. I keep finding new places. Bill. I keep finding new places. Because I just go take a look. Just go have a look-see. You don't have to go to some of the most popular fisheries over there. I still do, obviously, because they're fun and they're productive. But I find a ton of places that if you're not worried about numbers, if you're not worried about size of fish, if you want quality, if you want alone time, all as anglers, we love our alone time, right? We love to just fish and be relaxed. Fishing is relaxing, and a lot of these fisheries we just talked about, it's not. You got to get on it, and everybody and his brother is there giving you the stink eye because you're there taking their fish. There's places out there, things to do. That you don't have to deal with this.
When was the last time you launched in a boat on the east side and beat foot down river in the dark to get your spot?
Last time in the dark, would be like a Brewster. To get a spot to 12 for sockeye, and that's about it.
Really?
My modus operandi anymore is wake up when I wake up, have a coffee, have something to eat. And just casually go out to my spots, and if there's an angler here, there's a couple more spots where there's no anglers, and I'll just fish.
That's my point.
And you just when you're fishing relaxed, you know what it's like, Bill. When you're just, I gotta catch a fish. Well, you're not gonna catch it. You're not gonna catch one. If you're doing that, if you really want one, you gotta have one, and then when you finally get one, it's you don't relax. When you get this fish on, I gotta land him, I gotta get him, I gotta get him. When you're out there, I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna take a nice hike down a beautiful river.
I'm gonna relax.
I'm just gonna fish and see what happens.
Do it my way.
The fish seem to react to this. It's hard to explain, but this is what I like to do now because I've been through the Steelhead wars. Trust me, forever, salmon wars. I enjoy, people say, why do you trout fish? I go, because these fish are beautiful. They fight hard. They live in the most amazing places. I get to walk around and or be in a boat, and pontoon boat or whatever, and see them, these wonderful places that very few people go because I went and looked. It boils down to that. I just went to look. I go, I'm going to go see what's over there. Look what I found. I am the luckiest man in the world. And then I'll do this and I'll say, I'm going to look somewhere else. And then the problem I have is J.D. Love and I, my friend J.D. Love in the Forks, we'd stand there in the morning out there. We'd be out there drinking coffee in the morning. We'd say, what are you going to do? You want to go to CQ? You want to go to catch Coho? You want to go catch somewhere on Steelhead? You want to go catch cutthroat? What are you going to do? We'd be frozen with indecision. What do I want to do? instead of having just one place, I have to go here because this is open. I have 100 places to go. I can go fish a small river, a large river, a lake, a pond, or whatever, where very few people go because I went and looked. That's all it is, man, is I went and looked.
That's part of the adventure.
On the Yakima
I hooked one like with Dave Better like a week ago.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Fishing for West Slope cutthroat.
Right.
Hello. Right?
That's awesome.
But I went and I caught 3 steelhead, by the way, in the Yakima River this year.
Yeah.
Trout fishing.
Yeah.
When I'm swinging a fly and doing with jig fishing, whatever. But example, I'll throw this one out there, the Yakima. It's right in my backyard. I live in Sela, which is right, the Yakima literally is a 9-iron up my backyard, the lower Yakima. And I can drive up in the Yakima Canyon in 10 minutes and be in blue ribbon trout water. Now, these fish are not huge. A giant is a 21-inch rainbow, but they're real. Yeah. And they're wonderful fish. They bite well, they jump, they run. It's like steelheading in miniature.
Kick your butt, yeah.
It's so much fun. And you can have a casual day, even with other anglers around, you just fish casual. You can have a 6 to 10 fish day of these really high quality, wonderful rainbows. And I'm in a canyon that's just spectacular.
With light gear, having all
super
this
light
fun,
gear.
Right?
I'm just taking sunshine.
This stuff that's going on.
I've been fishing all winter.
Right.
Wonderful.
That's great.
You pick your days. You just go for a couple hours a day. It's what you want. As an angler, it's what you want to do.
Yeah.
And I've found lakes. I'll give you a tip. Everybody watching out there and listening, you probably already heard me say this many times on Northwest Wild Country and here and wherever. Check out the Colville Reservation. You want to go east and have a good time, buy a Colville Reservation license. Check out their plant schedules. They don't go like the WDFW. They go, okay, we're just going to dump a whole bunch of big, giant quality fish in all these lakes. Have a good time. And the biggest brook trout this side of Labrador, I'm here to tell you, are in 2 lakes on the Colville Reservation. Wouldn't you like to catch an 18 to 24-inch eastern brook trout up to 5 pounds?
Yeah.
Whoa. They live there.
Yeah, yeah.
How'd you like to have a lake all to yourself? You know the rainbows at Rufus that we covet now so much, these great big fish? How'd you like to have a lake all to yourself on a fly and catch these giant triploids all day long with nobody around you? How would you like to go catch, if you're a bass fisherman, how'd you like to catch 6 to 7, 8-pound largemouth all day long on a lake, all your own? Nobody else there.
Nobody else around.
Right.
Yeah.
You can do that. There are...
In that Colville Strait.
Yeah, there are 20, 30 different lakes on there. It just take a little
you can have access to. You buy your permit.
Yeah, you buy your permit.
License.
And by the way, you can drive right to all these places.
That's great.
So if you're elderly, if you're physically unable to do a lot of stuff, if you're younger, kids, all these places are very accessible.
Yeah.
They're in beautiful locations. Beautiful locations. Fishing is outstanding. Buy your Colville Reservation. Go take a look. Drive around and have a look-see.
So you're saying it's nothing like Buoy 10?
Not even close, William.
No. It's like 4,000 boats, right? 4,000
But
fish, right?
I'll give you a little hint also. I found a creek, air quotes, close to my backyard that is full of some of the largest West Slope cutthroat I've ever seen. I throw spinners for them. I throw jigs for them. I swing flies for them. I strip flies for them.
Yeah.
I wait. It's in the most beautiful. It's right next to a major highway.
Isn't that crazy?
Do your research, kids.
Yeah.
And I fish it all during the summertime, and I have nothing but fun there, and it is magnificent.
Look, there's something to be said about heavy duty rods. Like a 10.5-foot rod, 10 to 20 pound line weight, 50-pound braid, 30-pound leaders, and
12 ounces of lead and a big flasher.
Bomber and egg, fall fishing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But you scale it down. It's like
steelheading in miniature, my friend.
Yeah. So you and I try to talk to people who have never kokanee fished, Tommy, and we try to tell them why it's so enjoyable, Tommy.
Oh, there goes the bus,
Tommy.
Yeah. But it's all perspective, right?
Right.
You use appropriate sized gear for the environment you're in. And it's a troll fishery. It's a salmon troll fishery. It's a finicky salmon troll fishery. Right. You got to unlock the box almost every time you go out. But once you get it dialed, you can have amazing fun. And with the right kind of gear, it's all relevant. Sure. You're fighting a fish that is a scrappy fish, and you go to some of these lakes that provide a larger opportunity on some of these kokanee. It's an amazing experience. Going after these cutthroat in various degrees, as in you're either pitching jigs or rooster tails or some type of trout spinner or or swinging a fly or whatever.
Right.
It's all perspective because your rod choice and your presentation size and all of that is scaled down to where it's so enjoyable. It's like catching big triploids on extremely light trout rods.
Full bendo, right? You want a rod like this, you just...
It's unbelievable.
My weapons of choice are a 7.5 foot weight with like 2 to 8 pound test.
There you go.
With a 6 to 8 pound test on it. I can throw a jig on it. I can throw a spinner on it. I can do whatever I want. And my fly gear, I'm the guy who's just jumped into the trout spay routine. I have 3 weights, 3 and 4 weights.
Yeah. Wow!
And when you get a 20-inch trout on one of these, you got a steelhead on.
Oh, you're working.
They're ripping line, you're jumping, and you're having a blast, and you're going like, what in the world could possibly be better than this?
Last summer on our 2-week trip we took the boat and we went and fished Flaming Gorge and had magnificent days on those monster kokanee and big cutthroat that you can keep and big rainbows that you can keep. And on the way home we swung through Yellowstone and we connected with my buddy Jared Cady, who spends the entire summer guiding over there. And Jordan and I got to go fly fish on the Henry's Fork.
Ooh, Henry's Fork, that's open division fly fishing, man. That's one of the hardest places to catch a trout.
I'm not much of a
big show.
You're this close to one of my favorite lakes in the world over there, by the way, too. Henry's Lake.
Yeah, I'm going to fish it this year.
I'm going to
have the boat.
I'm going to fish it 20 times. I've got it figured out. You want to go?
Yeah.
Talk to me.
Okay, we're there. So, but just that experience on that long stretch of river on the Henry's Fork, fly fishing something.
Did you go to the ranch?
No. Well, we drove past it.
Okay, all right.
You know, you're talking about sections of that river that have 6,000 to 8,000 fish per mile.
And most fish, like the Madison River has 3,000 fish per mile, browns and rainbows.
Yeah. Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
The beaverhead, the little beaverhead that jumps out the Clark Canyon Reservoir, right where it comes out. Wrap your mind around this. The biologists said when they float it, every 6 feet of that river, there is a 20-inch plus brown trout.
Right.
Every 6 feet. Yes. Every 6 feet.
So we were there. At prime time hatch. You know, flies dropping out of trees. You know, popping out of their shell, and it's so many. I mean, Jared knows every single bug. Either landing on or leaving the water. Right. And you're watching these browns and these big rainbows come up and just surface feed. You watch them along the shore. They're 2 feet offshore, hanging, just waiting under the brush for the flies to drop.
Isn't that cool?
And we're using a strike indicator. Jordan got some of the most amazing footage of surface water breaking, big rainbow coming up, grabbing the dry.
Like an 18, 19-inch boat.
We got 2, 3, 4 fish that were 20 to 22 inches.
Jeez, that's great.
And let me tell you, on that lightweight fly rod, dude, my arm was on fire.
On a 5-weight, let me tell you.
On fire. I was amazed in the tug, in the drug of those fish.
And they're ripping and
that
pulling.
Environment, and they're pulling line, and you're trying to turn that fish in the current.
Okay.
It's every bit as satisfying as
say it.
20-pound Chinook.
Steelheading.
12-pound steelhead.
When people ask me, they go, why do you do it? I go, because when you scale down and when you have these opportunities, it's the same thing. I know. I want to go to the Kissimmee auction, catch a 30-pound steelhead.
Sure, yeah.
I'm first in line for that.
Okay, but
yes.
It's taking in the experience for what as it's presented to you. Developing the coordination to actually lay it out there where you want to, get it into the drift you want it to. It's all the technique points that you bring it all together, and next thing you know, you're fighting a 20-inch rainbow, and you go, 20-inch rainbow. The right conditions in the current.
Thank you. With real rainbow.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah. Let me throw one more factor out there. When you were growing up, what was the most exciting thing you did when you was growing up? When you did something new.
Sure.
Right?
Yep.
I caught a fish on a spoon for the first time. I watched a float go down for the first time.
There you go.
I caught one on a herring.
Yeah.
It's something new.
Herring bite.
We've been through all this, guys of a certain age.
Yeah.
This is new. It's exciting and new.
Yeah.
It's like the Love Boat now. Yeah. but right? You're sitting there all just kind of breathless when this happens.
Right.
You just this beautiful, big, fat, perfect, thin, gorgeous rainbow you just landed that just tore you a new one.
It's amazing.
And you're like, the last time I felt like this is when I caught my first 20-pound steelhead.
Yeah.
It's the same.
Yeah.
And that's why when people say, why do you go over there? Why do you do this stuff? And I go, that's why. It's new, it's exciting, it's discovery.
There you go.
Everything we want as an angler.
It's the reward when you put in the effort. It's the success we found at Flaming Gorge. It took us 3 days to really dial it in, but that third day, oh my God, Jordan and I, we spooled it up. We tied up some new gear. We went out there and we delivered on what we had, taken in the first couple days, successes and failures. We put it all together on day 3, and we had lights out fishing for about 6 hours that morning. It was unbelievable.
That's awesome.
Now we take what we learned last year and we go this year and
it'll be even better
again, right? So it's like anything else. It's a new experience, like you said. You show up and you scale your gear down appropriate for that type of fishery, and you go for it.
Right.
And when you find success, that the reward is the same. That you have a sense of accomplishment.
I did something.
What it's all about.
I did something. Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
That felt good.
What I love as an angler, Bill, I like beautiful fish in a beautiful environment without having to fist fight my fellow angler.
Right.
You put all those 3 together.
Yeah.
That's fishing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm doing over on the east side. Right?
Yep.
That's your Pacific Northwest mantra right there.
There you go.
Word
Put
up.
that on a shirt or something.
Close
I
enough.
put on your hat, but it's all covered up by Bill Monroe, apparently. All right, we're going to jump out for a quick break. We come back. Thank you for that. That was fantastic. We are going to be in the Bay Lab with you, Senor.
Copy that.
Going to break down some how-to rigging, Columbia River, Willamette River. We're going to spin some bait. We're going to talk some flashers. We're going to talk basic rigging principles for spring Chinook. You got times now, right?
Yep.
Up till April 4th so far.
It's time.
You got opportunity. Just a little shy of a month. Get in on it.
And I don't know about you guys up here, but down in the Portland zone, however many of us are watching, the Yakima Bait buy 3 get 1 free event. That's a
still
thing.
happening?
Yep.
Right now?
Correct.
Okay.
Or buy 12 get 4 free. However you want to look at it, you get
12 get 4 free.
Do I have to do math?
Seriously.
No, you only hire on math, and now we're going to screw it up.
Do math.
Today's math is different,
So
Bill.
there'd be no math. So jump out for a quick break. We come back. Bill Monroe in the Bait Lab with a how-to rigging for springer fishing on the Columbia. We're going to show you how to spin some small baits. We're going to get you dialed in for this Chinook, spring Chinook,
Easy for you to
spring king opportunity.
Bring it. I'm ready.
Spring king opportunity before the season is done right here at Fish Hunt Northwest. Allied boats are built by West Coast fishermen for West Coast fishermen. Deep V 21-degree dead rise at the transom guarantees a smooth ride no matter the conditions. Allied offers all of our boats with Honda outboard packages so that you can take full advantage of the reliability and 5-year top-to-prop warranty from your Honda outboard. Allied boats range from 19 to 32 foot in length, so no matter what type of heavy gauge boat you are looking for, we have it for you. All of our Corsair 21-foot and larger designs come standard with reverse chine that is welded inside and out with no extrusions below the waterline, so that you will never have to worry about corrosion problems down the road. Get out on the water today in a boat that you can trust and enjoy with Allied Boats. Contact us at Allied Boats today to learn much more about our incredible fishing machines.
New days, new beginnings, new friends, new loves, new dreams, new goals, new scenery, new job. No matter what the next chapter holds, Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate will be there to help you find the new that's right for your lifestyle at any stage of your life. Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate. Expect better.
Go ahead.
Hey, welcome back to Fish Hunt Northwest. We are obviously here in the Bait Lab for this week's how-to. Everything in the Bait Lab is presented by Max Lure. Check out everything Max Lure has going on at maxlure.com. Okay, with that, Bill, you brought some rods in. You brought some. This is a new flasher for you to use, isn't it? Isn't that something that's only been around for a couple weeks?
Right.
Yeah, or several years, or 10 years, or
probably I'm about 6 years into
6 years into it, right?
Into this one.
Let's just start there. Let's just start with the red flasher, the evolution of this and why you rely on it so much?
So Buzz and I, we started doing some talking and looking of things on what happens when a fish comes up and sees something, right?
Yeah.
We found out that certain colors did certain things on certain presentations, hence daytime, clouds, sunshine. It was different.
Yep.
The greens had a lot of action, but only when it was cloudy. The reds did something all around. So what we did is we started creating a pattern of a red plastic with red involved in it somewhere to give a little bit, and then the pearl, the UV pearl, that was what was our main piece. And once I came up with, we did a flame red on one side with a half pearl on the other, and on red plastic, and then we put the whole presentation under the water. We switched every rod to it. I started really catching salmon.
On that one? Significantly
more than anything else. I don't know what it was, it just happened, and greens, they work, but if it's red, my mantra is if it's red, it's dead. And I've heard that from multiple
and you use this
fishing guides.
Multiple fisheries, all different water conditions, different levels of turbidity.
Everywhere.
Used all the time.
Everywhere.
And historically, those that have followed Buzz in the past and talked with him, whatnot, he is very, he has a lot of confidence in the red and white.
He does.
Coleman spinner,
it's
right?
his thing.
It's his thing.
It's
red and white for Buzz Ramsey has been synonymous with Chinook fishing on multiple Chinook fisheries for years, right?
Yes.
And then now you, like you said, for at least 6 years, are going for, and you can't hardly find these right now.
These are really difficult to find.
Yeah, they're in high demand.
They've worked.
Reason they work.
They've produced after year, and when you lose one, it hurts.
How many did you bring with you? Because you're not leaving with any. Just
I had brought 4.
Okay, cool. Let's talk a little bit about how you set up your rig. You got a weed guard.
So let's look at a couple of things. I don't have my YBC's rudder that does the same thing. This is a VIP product, and it's really works really good.
Yep.
This happens to grab on to the barrel swivel and prevent line twist when any type of rotating flasher is going at it.
Yeah.
Whether it's mainly for this Pro Troll or it's going to be your triangle flasher, this thing does a lot of work. Okay. So the only reason I do colors is because yet again, I've fished around a lot of people in my life, and when you use a lot of terminal tackle, i.e. barrel swivels, clips, droppers, you need to hide it. And the colors of beads, we all know it's just like steelhead. Beads make fish want to see things.
Look at something, yeah.
But there's times where you want to hide things too. Okay. And this is where the time in a troll fishery.
Yeah.
So I run that, and then I run what we call is our bumper line. This is what's going to happen above your flasher.
About?
This is about 16 inches for triangles.
Okay.
I like to go, and I brought a couple of these. These are just stuff that I've been sent and that I have. They work really well. These are 22 inches for Pro Trolls. Gotcha. And I like the 22 inches instead of the 24s because it makes the Pro Troll go that much faster. I like a little bit more speed with my Pro Trolls. We're not there yet. We're in cold water fisheries, and Pro Trolls aren't going to do anything until we start to see some warm water.
About 48?
50? Yeah, 50 probably for Pro Trolls. You'll see that Willamette take off at the end of April, and it's because the water hit a certain temperature, and people are going to start those. And that's where your spin fish is going to come into play. The new 2.5 with this is going to be
money.
You should have seen some of the stuff Jared was doing with this. And Shane, they were killing it in warm water up at the oak tree and the Columbia.
Get it done.
It works. So anyways, back to some cold water. So we have our terminal gear. We're going to connect our bumper line to the barrel swivel, okay? This is and you're going to have 200-pound test, or you can use titanium rigging wire, or you can use some of YBC's stainless rigging wire rods. That's a thing. And then you're going to have a dropper. Now, I'm going to go into this dropper thing because this is actually pretty important. When you start looking at your dropper size, we're going to look at something what we call the spread. Now the spread is very important, and I want to show you guys, if I can get this clipped. The spread here is only important because of the angle of what you're trolling, okay? And then the speed of what your dropper is going to be. This is a dropper right here. Imagine a little line right here. Yep. The dropper is going to be dinging along on the sand, right? But it's going to create your gear to come down with that dropper at a certain length. Now, your dropper is going to play every little piece of this. If your dropper's too long, if it's too long, it goes below the flasher. Yep. The flasher is going to dig on the bottom of the river. And so is your... Your bait's going to drag sand. You're going to lose herring after herring. If your dropper's too long. And then you're going to be dropping that herring below where the fish are really going to be able to do anything about it. Now, you want to put this dropper, if I'm running a 16-inch bumper, my dropper is going to be an inch longer. It's a 17-inch dropper, and it puts it right at the top of the flasher. Okay. Right at the very tip of that flasher. That puts your flasher right along the bottom of the river. It puts your bait right at the bottom of the river, which is where those fish are trying to swim, because their whole goal is to get around and avoid working too hard, which means to get out of the current. They push against the shorelines, or they go down below the thermocline of the current, and that's going to be the first 6 inches of any type of
If I'm rigging with a YBC slider up there versus the Pro or the
between the VIP right? Dropper, or with look, you can do it with just a barrel swivel
on beach, right? Is the importance if, because that could change my distance here. So correct. It may not be a 16, 17, but at the end of the day, if I hook it to whatever I have rigged up here, correct. If my dropper comes in contact with the tip of my rotating flasher, I'm there.
You're good.
Right? Yep. That's the key. Okay. Just want to make sure I spell that out. So
that is the key to
being. How long a leader are you running on that?
So then now we're down here we're running our leader.
And do you always use a midpoint?
I do. On there, I run a bead chain in the middle of my leaders for the very reason that this bad boy is spinning at a different speed than this bad boy, and definitely at a different speed than that bad boy, right? Right. This keeps you sane, because if you don't have that, you're going to go insane. Right. And when you have 6 clients on the boat, and every one of them is tangled, you go insane really fast.
Right. And you ask, why am I guiding?
Well, that's why I avoid alcohol. Right. I'm not a big drinker.
Right. So
no. Anyway, so I got 14. I got 40 pound. I use 40 pound. Okay. 40 pound leader. I got 50 inches of leader right here. This is just my preference. Some people like a really long 60. Some people like 30. But behind a triangle flasher, your best little bed is anywhere from 48 to 54.
Okay.
Yep.
So you landed 50.
I land at 50. That's just my preference. That's what I like to do. It's easy to tie up. It's an even number. I can just cut stretches of 50 inches and just go to town, start tying, or that's what I tell some people to help me out with.
Now let's get to the meat of the presentation, as in the herring. And
let's get to some of the cool stuff. By the way, these are 4 5s.
4 5s.
I like 4 5s. I like red.
4 5 on the trailer.
Again, red.
Yep. And let me ask you this. So that looks like a rig that is suitable for a green label size herring.
That is.
We're going to have smaller herring this year.
That's right. You can switch to a 3-4, but you can still use a 4-5 like I do.
What about spacing?
Now spacing is where you're going to, now see for me, I do with everything. I use fly tie backing.
Oh, and you have a sliding hook.
And I have a really strong sliding hook.
Yep.
Yep.
That'll be adjustable no matter what size bait you're fishing.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yep. I got you. Yeah, that's smart.
Now in the barbless hook world, which is the Columbia, that's your friend, the sliding rig.
Yeah.
Barbless.
Yeah.
Both reasons to have the most chance for a hookup is to have one hook that can slide in case they bite you from the side, you get top bit. That top hook's going to slide down and still have an opportunity, whereas if it was solid, they may miss that hook, and they definitely will miss that bottom one. So let's get into some nitty-gritty stuff. This is the stuff that we are going to have this year. This is the size of herring that we are most likely going to see.
Orange, red, maybe?
I don't think we're going to see reds.
Mostly orange, huh?
No.
Maybe
by July for the fall fisheries, we might see some reds or some greens. This is the creme de la creme.
Yeah.
This is like gold right now. This is what I have left from last year's fisheries. It's hard to find. You can't find it anywhere unless you have it left over.
Right.
And so let's go over a couple of things about how we're going to switch things up this year, because we're going to have to get back to our roots. Now, when I was young, my grandpa and my dad and some other old timers, we fished with whole herring. We did it in a way that everybody's kind of just like, oh, well, I fish them whole and I use the sliding hook and I create a bend and then I just hook them like that. Well, that's not kind of how we did it. We switched to a toothpick fishery.
Right.
And these toothpicks are what create your spin. And when you start looking at what a toothpick does, these are 3.5s. My favorite toothpick is a 4-inch because it works for anchovies and
good point.
herring.
Yeah.
But these work really well. And
not to interrupt, but I'm going to. We had a question, might have been last week. Somebody was saying, do many guys actually use anchovy for spring Chinook?
Yeah.
And I said,
yes.
Yeah, I think, and
especially on a year where there's not the right kind of bait, there's tons of anchovies.
You got nothing to lose. You're fishing 4 rods, load 2 of them up with anchovy, 2 of them up with herring. And
correct.
As Buzz would tell us, let the fish tell us what they want, right?
Yep.
So
what isn't tried won't work.
That is correct from the hecklers on the
hecklers.
So okay, so let's talk about
So here's our presentation.
How we make this thing spin.
Our knife doesn't get used when we go to these small fish.
Right.
We are going to go to we're going to create our own spin. And when we do this, we're going to put a little bend in the fish like this. We're going to put our little toothpicky in, and we're going to just lock that spin in like this. See this?
Yep.
That's our fish.
Yeah.
This actually is the next best, tightest spin that you're going to get, rather than cut plugging one of these, which we know create really tight spins. And all you have to do.
You do the same thing with your anchovy.
I do the exact. The anchovy is actually a really good case because it's longer.
Yep.
But you just bring this top hook right down here through the chin and right above the eyes.
Between the eyes, right?
You see this right here?
Yep.
This is your setup. Now, I have a really tight. I lock it up right to about his tail. Now on cut plug, which we'll start right here. Let's go ahead and cut one of these, and we'll go over how to do this too.
So that is it. I mean, that trailer hook is spinning freely. It's a size 5 in this case.
Yep.
4 and 5. Your slider, if you will, is just for that reason. So like if I was to now pin an anchovy and put it on there, that bait's going to be longer than this orange.
Yes, it sure will. You're going to lengthen that up to the back of his tail.
Yep. Gotcha.
Now on a cut plug presentation, remember on your cut plugs, you can use. Everybody likes to use a cut plug box, right?
Not everybody.
Not everybody.
But yeah.
I don't.
I do not.
I was taught a different way.
Yeah.
You put your knife right behind the gill. You create a 45 angle.
Yep.
Rotate 45 angles, 45 degree angle.
Yep.
Make your cut. This is your cut plug. You see right here, our angle.
2 angles.
Is perfect. Perfect.
Yep.
Okay.
Nice and clean. Sharp knife.
Correct. Have to have a sharp knife for this. Now, on this, we grab the insides.
Yeah.
That's
out of there.
That slows down a spin, but everybody thinks that the fish just love guts and they love to eat them. Well,
no.
It's the spin and so you come in here with your trailer, you come in to the side like this. Now, see that? That's bad.
Scales coming off?
You talk to David Johnson about this.
Oh boy.
You all learn that herring scales can prevent a bite from happening because the scale will prevent the hook going into the mouth.
Really?
Because
is that tough?
Yeah, they are.
Huh?
It's crazy.
Okay.
Yep. Anyways, pull that through, and then we're going to put the tip of the hook right at the backbone, right?
Yep.
We're going to go back 3 or 4 ribs.
Yep.
Just off to the left.
Yep.
And we're going to come
side.
right out the center.
There you go.
And now we want this hook. This is perfect. I lengthened it. You want a cut plug hook to be about an inch, the hook length after the tail, past the tail.
Right.
Because this hook on a cut plug is going to spin so much tighter that it's going to rub right in here, and you're going to lose precious flash from the scales.
Gotcha.
Don't want that. And so that's your setup.
Yeah. Yeah, and both will spin almost equally as far as tight spin, drill bit.
And after the smelt leave of the river, how many fall Chinook and Coho have you seen with? Have you ever cut open salmon stomachs and see how many cut plug heads are in these fish?
Well, because
handfuls of heads have come out of Coho. It's just crazy. So some guys like to pin them right back there.
Herring in the ocean because the fish are eating the heads. So
some guys like to take that and put it right there. I'm not there. I'm just saying it's a thing. It gets done.
Yeah, I don't do it.
So here's what we're going to be seeing the most of this year. This is what's available. This is available from Harbor Herring. It's here in the Washington area and Point Defiance. They have a lot of it. And Oregon just got a big shipment of it in the Astoria area. Gene at Tackle Time has cases of this stuff, and it's really perfect. I'm surprised he got it, but he did. It was really, really great. So this is what we're going to be using.
You have confidence in that size herring pinned appropriately with a toothpick?
I do.
Yeah.
100%.
So, yeah.
And you know, fishing is a lot about confidence.
Yeah.
If I'm going to go out there and be all nervous and stuff, and I'm going to make a mistake or two, it's not going to happen. This is confidence building stuff. This makes me comfortable.
Okay, final question. When you're rolling bait as you are, you got 6 clients and you're fishing bait on all of them. How often are you checking those rods? How often are you checking that bait?
Well, we make a lot of runs. We pick up, we make a run back to the top, come back. So every run that I pick up, I'm looking. If there's scale missing, it's going. If one side has scales, the other, it's going. But if it's this year and we have precious greens that I'm fishing, which I do have some, I'm going to fish them for quite a little bit longer.
Sure.
I want to show one. Do we have time for one more thing? Do we? Okay. Check this out. A lot of people don't know this, but if you don't hook this herring like this, and you come here and you want to grab this is your backbone where the tip of the hook is. Come right into the side of that backbone, come through the ribs like this.
On top of it.
And then look at that. The backbone is like right there. See how I'm pulling it out? Well, I just pulled that out. But that is a really easy way to rig them. Okay?
And it holds on pretty good?
A lot of guys can also do it like this.
Right on through.
And what it does is it locks the cut you've made, it locks it up. And that's actually a pretty little good way to do it too.
That's been awesome.
This isn't traditional though, so.
Sure.
It's just a different way to do it. Some guys like A, some guys like B.
Gotcha.
I like it all.
Okay. Good stuff. Get your small herring, Harbor Herring. Patrick Gaffney, friend of ours here at Fish Out Northwest.
Oh yeah, he has it.
Yeah, we run it, and he takes care of us. So definitely looking forward to getting my hands on some of that. When I run out of my green, I'm going to show you which freezer in the back room that my herring is in. So because you're leaving, and I want to keep my bait.
Does everybody want his address? Text me.
Right. Yeah. So, all right, going to jump out for a quick break. We're going to be back in studio with the Bills, and we're going to close out this train wreck, or as it's called. All right, we'll be back right here at Fish Out Northwest. Defiance boats are built without any structural wood materials. That is why we back our boats with a lifetime warranty. All of our Defiance boats come standard with large fish boxes that are fully insulated so that you can ice your fish properly all day. Defiance boats feature a 21 to 22 degree dead rise at the transom and a large reverse chine for incredible handling and stability offshore. Defiance boats are foam flotation filled and unsinkable for the ultimate in safety while fishing offshore. Defiance boats feature fuel efficient hull designs with large fuel tank capacity
so that you can have maximum fuel range for making long offshore runs completely safe and affordable. All Defiance boats come standard with self-bailing decks for improved safety while at sea. Defiance Boat offers all our boats with Honda outboard packages so that you can take full advantage of the reliability and 5-year top-to-prop warranty from your Honda outboard. Defiance Boats for all your boating needs, and let us help you get out on the water.
Today, the need for quality private security services is at an all-time high. Contract Security Service provides day-to-day peace of mind as they protect people and property. Phoenix Protective Corporation strives for excellence. Above all, Phoenix security officers are managed by leaders trained to inspire and encourage greatness. Here at Phoenix, we provide service for multiple state and federal contracts, with service ranging from uniform, patrol, alarm monitoring, canine detection, executive protection, as well as investigative work. We here at Phoenix are looking for highly motivated individuals to apply. If you're a vet, retired or active, and would like to work with us, please apply.
Hey, welcome back in studio, Fish on Northwest, Duane Inglin, Bill Herzog, Bill Monroe Jr., and of course Harper. Say hi. Say hi.
No, say hi to the camera.
Say hi, right up there. Say hi.
Hi.
So, Harper loves to fish.
Oh.
I was going to start a herring company called Harper Herring.
Harper Herring?
Yeah, don't do that. So, hey, I want to kind of break down two comparables. Bill, you and I have talked about it. 77,000 Chinook coming back to the Brewster area, the Upper Columbia opportunity this summer, right?
Yeah.
Which is going to be phenomenal.
Last year we had like 35,000.
Yeah.
And fishing was still pretty good. If you work for it, you get your fish. I'm so excited to get double that amount. Oh,
let's talk.
Is summer here yet? Come on.
I know, right?
Hold on.
Yeah.
So let's talk.
Let's get through spring. It's like it's summer.
Of going at, so we're talking Upper Columbia, Brewster Pool, Chinook. You know, just dirty, filthy brown trout. That's all we're going after, right? They're just nasty looking. Who wants to catch those things?
I made the biggest mistake in my life. The first few years I went sockeye fishing.
Yeah.
By the way, the kings over there love sockeye gear.
Yes, they do.
I watch guys catch these Chinook.
Small little presentation.
With the color of this table. And I'm like, oh man, these guys don't know. They ain't been to near bay. They ain't been CQ. They don't know what's up.
Right.
I go chrome bias, we call it, right? And I watch these guys keep these fish high-fiving. And I'm like, oh, these poor guys, they just don't know any better, right? Until I took my cousin's fishing one time. Cousin Dickie, his brother. And my cousin gets like a 25-pounder. He goes, I want to keep it. I'm like, you're not putting that brown slime thing in my cooler. Screw it. It goes against your sockeye limit. No, I want to keep it. All right. So he keeps it, and then my other cousin, brother, catches one. Another male. And I'm like, okay, fine, you guys. So I start cutting them up on the shore. Cut the head off it, and I'm like, what the
most beautiful
meat marbled. I'm
you're
like,
ever gonna find.
I go, can I have a chunk of that? Can I have a steak off of these? It was like eating Springer. I'm like, I let go 100 of these in the last 10 years.
Dude, those dragons even the dragons are amazing.
Genetics.
Yep.
It's all, these fish historically went 800-900 miles up the Columbia. These are the same fish. They're just hatchery reared now.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And so when these fish, you get them.
Same genetics.
We look at them, we're so used to, fish we catch in the ocean are so chrome. Some of them are dirty silver, but when you cut them, they cut spectacular. And they're great eating.
Yeah.
And the fishing, when I first started fishing just for kings over there, like in the last 5 years.
Yep.
It was just, my eyes were this wide. I'm like, holy cow, look at this gear. What are we fishing, halibut? What are we doing? We're talking 8 to 12 ounces of lead on a slider, big 12-inch flat, 11-inch flasher, and super baits, and big, all kinds of big spinners. And I'm like, wow, this is insane, but it works. They work great.
Yeah.
You just have to put them in the right place at the right time, and it opened up a whole new avenue of fishing for me over there.
I had some amazing times in September, right out in front of the Klickitat, right out in front of the Deschutes. Those fisheries, you get those chrome fish over there. They cut as red as can be, and they fight like, unbelievable. And it's full fisheries. 360 flashers, small 3.5 spinners.
Yeah, trolling liverworts, whatever. It all catches.
And just, 8 ounces of lead on a drop or whatever. It's just, they're fun fisheries. And that Brewster Pool opportunity, when those fish keg up in there, because let's face it, the sockeye opportunity is going to be dismal this year.
Well, 180,000 is all.
Yeah.
That'll maybe be a 1 fish a day in addition to our Chinook.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So a little bonus kind of fishery.
Right.
But that many Chinook coming back, you should have a 2 fish limit, I'm thinking. We'll see, right? So
it looks good.
Definitely going to bring the boat over and go after that. Now, in contrast, several miles downriver, dip into that Willamette bill. We have a spring Chinook opportunity here that's on now, and it's like you said, it's going to extend until June.
You know what the June fishery is so cool about the Willamette? It's the spring Chinook run, right?
Yeah.
And the springers, there's enough of the Willamette fish, by the way, to account. You get if you buy the rod endorsement, you can use 2 rods.
That's another cool thing.
That's a positive for this year. Okay, it's a positive to access the opportunity, but. When the Columbia is shut down, those fish kind of come into that Willamette water once the Columbia starts warming up, because the Willamette stays cool, and all those fish come up there, and the lower Willamette from Kelly Point all the way up to St. John's Bridge turns into kind of a nice little summer Chinook fishery.
Well, they don't go underground. Every fish going up has to go right through there.
They go right through there. And so it actually is a really productive, turns into a really productive 360 pro troll fishery.
That's it.
Spinners, spin fish. Water temperature? Right. Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And so over the course between now and that June opportunity, as we delve and, start getting into that early summer opportunity and that water temperature change, you have the current troll fishery that you're going to be doing. You have guys fishing eggs.
Yep.
And then you kick it into a 360 opportunity. I guess it's all about knowing what to use and when. It's kind of like buoy 10.
It's kind of like buoy 10. I was just going to say
when, right?
Right.
Same kind of deal. So
same type of premise right there,
How long will guys fish eggs through the entire season or opportunity there?
Yeah, that Oregon City area, that turns into a back trolling and back bouncing fishery.
And that's hover fishing going on there?
No, not really. Well, actually, it turns into a hover fishery up near the falls. Yeah, that does work. And they're actually starting this really impressive, buzz bomb jig fishery.
Dungeness stinger-like thing.
It's crazy. In the deeper water below the old Oregon City Bridge, you start jigging for spring Chinook, and I'll be darned if they don't sit there and snap at these things like crazy.
I'm at Nick Amato's house, and editor of Salmon, Trout, Steelhead.
Some people might.
Oh yeah, Nick.
I go by his jet boat in June-ish one time. All these rods are all rigged up with these white 1 ounce, 1 and 2 ounce jiggers, like you'd be using for bottom
lead
fish,
jigs for like bottom fish, right?
And I'm like, Jim, with those, man. He goes, don't you tell a soul. We're going up by Willamette Falls and we're jigging for these fish and we're killing them.
And they're working.
Don't tell anybody.
It's like a handful of years now. That's not a secret anymore. Right. But back when that was first starting,
this was 15 years ago.
Oh man, they were knocking them out like crazy. Yeah.
He looked at me, he goes, you ever want to get paid again? Don't even think about it.
Well,
so the statute of limitation is over right now. So here you go. Right?
I'm telling it. Oh, that's good.
Well, there we are. Basically, two complete different locations along that Columbia corridor. 2 prime opportunities.
Yeah.
That one extends until June. That one starts kicking off in June. And then we just right in June, July, August, into September, Coho coming. That Columbia corridor in opportunities throughout,
for 2 states.
Yeah, for 2 states.
Washington.
3, actually, once you get up there into Idaho.
Seriously.
Right?
Can I give you one more tip?
Yep.
About the Chinook fishery we have in July. Everybody thinks Brewster. What did I just say about fish not going underground?
Right.
There are half a dozen spots between Brewster and the Tri-Cities, where those
the 395 bridge.
That Chinook fishery is very good.
Crazy.
And very few people do it because they think the hive mentality. I got to go to Brewster to do this, right?
Yeah.
It's not
there
true.
Are 4 or 5 places I can think of where go look. When we talked about go take a look and give it a shot and see what happens. And a lot of days, this sounds like an oxymoron, but you can be by yourself fishing kings with these high quality
on the Columbia River.
On Columbia,
for real.
by yourself.
Yeah.
It does happen.
As far as I know, my new boat is supposed to float, and it's on a trailer, and we can take it where we need to go. So
oh, you mean it's portable?
Yeah.
it's portable.
What a concept.
Crazy
We should
idea.
tell people.
I know.
Get down
All
here
right,
and
hey,
fish.
I want to thank both you guys for making the drive and come and spend a little time in
Well, we
studio.
have to stop because my drink is empty.
Oh my goodness! Huh?
Yeah, I left my water in the other
We are
room.
actually a little after 8 o'clock. This is one of the longer shows we've done in quite a while, but well worth it. You guys didn't come up here just to sit around for an hour and just talk a few things and get on out. So, folks, enjoyed the show. Appreciate you guys jumping in.
That's good
tonight.
stuff.
Good conversations. Absolutely, always good intel from the Bills. Appreciate everybody that hung on here for the lengthy show. Thank these gentlemen for being here. If you got questions or comments based on some of the content we covered tonight, hit us up on Messenger. I can always get a hold of these two for sure. Check out Bill Monroe Jr.'s Bill Monroe Outdoors on his Facebook page or his website. You got any openings for Spring Chinook? You pretty much booked.
I do.
Oh,
no, we got Double M. It has a lot of days that we are going to be really good.
April 4th, but yes, after April, hit this man up. You're going to get on that Willamette fishery because I know I am. I'm going to book.
I know you're going to come down.
What you charge me like $1,000 a day or something, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. It's like babysitting. So he has to pay the extra.
It's the secret fee.
Right. Anyway, lots of good content and more to come out of these guys. If you have questions, make sure you hit them up
for sure
via their Facebook contact information. They're always accessible and willing to talk. Fantastic job. Thanks again, boys.
Thanks, buddy.
Absolutely. Going to do it for us this week here, Fish Up Northwest. Join us next week, Thursday, 6 p.m. Going to have a couple gunners in here. Dave Champ, Cameron Black, Hatchery and Wild. We have a ton of information to cover via Hatchery Wild and the work that they're doing to bring back hatchery enhancement, brood stocking. We're going to cover it all. Wild fish.
1,000% support.
Right.
1,010.
A lot of good stuff going on with those guys. With the removal of the HSRG, we have some things in the future to look forward to. We have some opportunities to start building hatchery numbers, and we have some of the constraints being pulled back, open it up so we can actually put fish into our
Not open to these huge liabilities that all these groups are trying to contest the departments.
And Orca is our friend. So keep that in mind. Join us next week right here, 6 p.m. Fish on Northwest. We'll see you then. Have a great week. Have a great night.
Have a great night. Thanks, everybody.